be like 10 people on the thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Apparently, we're live now. Hi, everybody. My name is Championship Gimbab. I'm the Political Fish, and we are doing the Sunday stream wind down. And I'm joined by Will, John, and Cameron. You may remember Cameron from the annoying bastard that always gets like 100% on all the tests. But aside from that, we got new people. That is, Will, say hi.
Hello.
John, say hi.
Hello, even though I've been on here before.
Yeah, you know. And of course, Cameron, say hi.
Hello. Hello.
Can you see the watch link? Where's the watch link?
I can see it.
I hope you guys can see it. 5 people watching now, really. It's just us. But anyway, it was a really good time that we had actually on the Sunday stream. Swiss is going to be proud, of course. You know what else were we going to expect from Angels? Of course, it was going to be top shelf. You know, she was brilliant.
She's a very charismatic host.
Yes, definitely. Is there anything that we didn't explore as much as you would have liked us to?
Let's see. Well, I wasn't always there for the stream, not to mention I was feeling a bit ill, so I'm not entirely sure what else there was to talk about. Though, granted, during when we were kind of like talking about, like, you know, let's see, most people want to vote for a new party, or like they're saying that the two parties are split. I wanted to make the point about how that's currently happening because the two parties are having a sort of like clash of ideological. Let's see.
Fuck's sake, everybody says that I'm fucking pissed, man. Jesus Christ, sort out your articulation.
It's just like, you know. Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, ideological. Yeah, ideological. I'm trying to find what to say at. Policies, I guess. I mean, you know what direction they want to go in. You know, like, because, you know, Labour is currently battling out between those that want to go to the left direction and those that want to go in a more centre Blairite direction. So there's bound to be a split because change is happening in the party and it can get quite nasty. And I would also argue it's the same case between the Conservatives, between the more, I suppose, David Cameron-esque types and the more Brexiteer types, really.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question for you. Politically, ideologically, how much distance do you think there is between Blair and Cameron?
Let's see. That, from what I can tell, not much difference, as they're both socially liberal. I mean, Cameron's part it was under Cameron that, let's see, gays were finally allowed to get married. Let's see. And let's see. But I suppose one economic difference, I guess, is that I think Cameron was a bit more austerity. At least from what I can tell.
I don't know. What do you think, Cameron?
Cameron?
All right. What do you think, Will?
Well, if we're talking about socially, I find it very interesting. There's still a slight difference between Cameron and Blair because whether you call it lip service or not, when Cameron ran his first electoral campaign, he did put an emphasis on traditional values. Now, how much he tried to follow through that, so you could make an argument against. I think the only major liberal change he made, that being legalizing gay marriage, that felt like more of an appeasement, again, trying to appeal to more liberal sides of the Conservative Party and trying to draw them in. When I don't think you can really credit him with that, in that it came from years and years of activism from social pressure groups. But as John just said, there's the major. If you want to look at one major difference, then economically, yes, Cameron was much more austerity driven. On the other hand, the other scandal kind of under the coalition was how much was discovered of how many loopholes there were that allowed companies to commit tax evasion. They say that it was Blair and Brown who kind of first opened up those loopholes, and then it was Cameron and Osborne who further expanded them.
Yeah, sure.
A common nickname that some people had for Cameron was Blair Mark II in that sense.
Oh, yeah. I recall that Cameron and Osborne refer to Tony Blair as the Master or something.
Indeed, yeah.
So it's like,
I think. Can you guys like retweet the wind down tweet that I just put out?
Sure.
Bob Elvis, I missed the first hour. You didn't really miss much. The first hour is just normally stuff. Blair started the welfare reform. Yes, he did. And he introduced the minimum wage. But he also allowed the increase of PFI contracts and the destruction of workers' rights. So I can't really be a fan of that. Is that the profile pic of a Buddhist monk or setting himself on fire for protest? I think that's directed to you, Will.
That's not a Buddhist monk. It's simply a campfire who wants to toast his own marshmallows.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Or you could call it a Buddhist monk who set himself on fire in protest, but then thought, you know what, I'll have a quick snack before I die.
So I'm not sure that people were expecting us to go live so soon. So hopefully we'll get Road Dog and Angels in a bit. I actually want Sam. So tell us, guys, what did you think of Sam this evening? He was quite interesting.
I really like him. I enjoyed him in your initial talk that you did last week with Matt, and yeah, it was so nice just to have, as Thomas is always saying, there's always need on these streams we do to get an international perspective, and it was really cool to have an American saying it how he saw it.
He's not stupid.
No,
and that's the thing. Sorry.
It's a I don't know. I didn't really get to have time to watch your stream that you did with Matthew and Sam, but he seemed like you know what he was talking about.
Like I said, he's not stupid.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's all. That's my only comment. You know.
Did he vote for Bernie Sanders out of curiosity?
Sorry.
Bernie Sanders out of curiosity, or
can you rephrase that one more time?
Did he vote for Bernie Sanders during the primary?
He's from Vermont.
Okay. Okay.
Bernie Homeland.
Yeah. Then you understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you understand. For those in the side that or viewers, for those that don't know, that Bernie Sanders is actually the governor of Vermont, and that'll be why he is quite progressive, and I mean, like Bernie Sanders is kind of, you know, he's been the governor of Vermont for like 30 years Senator, or something. Yeah, it's very, very similar to you know, the MP of North Islington. Who's the MP of North Islington?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Well, some would say he's still...
Oh, right, really, Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah. He's been the MP there for how long?
About 35 years, I believe.
Yeah, about 30 years, yeah. It's crazy that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's look at the side chats. So Bubble this. Hello, Mr. Festow. Blah 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 blah. Blair started the welfare reform. Yeah, I've already addressed that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Oh yeah, yeah. We've already done the profile pic. Goon 143. So is it sex bots or war bots? What do you reckon? Where are we going with regards to?
Well, rather sex bots, obviously.
Yeah. Sex bots.
Let's see. Depending on how, let's see, the war complex, I guess, depending on how the war complex goes, I guess we'll probably get more military robots than sex robots. So.
Sex robots, say Goon, like it's like sex robots. Oh,
I'm pretty certain for Japan, they're probably going to be the first to have sex robots.
Oh, for sure.
Alex Ritchie is saying, I'm literally infuriated at technology right now. Won't let me join through the link anyway. Or how? Why?
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, okay. We need to sort that out.
Anyway, from back to Millie Sanders. He's the only.
Alex. I'm literally okay. What's can you DM me, please, your email address, please, Alex Ritchie, and I will sort you out. I'll hook you up. Bob Elvis, is quite interesting to see you in a side chat of Gordon Dimmack's, news stuff. I know he's just done his backing, but yeah, it was kind of cool seeing you there, which I thought was quite weird.
I often on the streets, but we're not coming too often.
Anyway, from what I can recall, Bernie's like the only independent senator or governor in the House of Congress. What do you recall? I just wanted to ask that question.
We really need Sam around to answer that.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Or Matthew, if I know he doesn't have time to join, but he's very clued up on American politics.
Fair enough, but yeah. I mean, that's what I can recall, but I just needed to confirm it. Fair enough, but anyway.
I always assumed he was officially part of the Democrats, just to the fringe of them, rather than officially independent.
I know, from what I can recall, he was independent, but does tend to vote for the Democrats mostly on left-wing issues.
Okay.
At least that's what I can recall. Oh, we have a new member in the site in the stream.
We got Nikki M. Gordon is very good. Gordon Dimmack, yes, he is. He is very good. We need to get him in this. I don't. Oh, hello. Who's here? Hello.
Oh, he's left now.
That was a bit weird.
Fair enough. Anyway,
I listened to Gordon Dimmack recently. Very impressive.
I don't. Okay. So Goons asked me a question. He says, "Hey, Cham, what is worse, your rights being trampled by a capitalist or the proletariat?" Well, I am a pro, so I don't understand the premise of the question. Can you please clarify? Maybe DM me. Okay. What's your Twitter handle, Alex Ritchie, please? Is Alex Ritchie in the thingy thing?
I think it's just joined the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's on the
cool.
bullet chat.
Is he? All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. So now we.
I like. Is he? Thank God we live in these times.
Yeah, I think so.
Possible. Just wanted to ask a question. I know this kind of was talked about in the stream, but I don't think I was there for that part. But do you think the Labour Party will do a people's vote?
I hope not.
I don't.
What about you?
I was thinking no up until now, but when on the stream Matthew shared that information from Paul Mason about so much of a consensus coming in for people's votes, now it looks like they can't really, the leadership can't really oppose it.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. I completely disagree.
Let's see. Fair enough. Well, I do hope that if a people's vote is going to get passed, I'm hoping that, let's see, the Tories will lead, the general election will happen after Brexit rather than before it. So, like back in 2019, before they can actually do anything about it. Because I do feel like a people's vote would probably undermine Labour's chances of winning. Because unfortunately,
Time is ticking, Champsy, for you to earn that tenner.
Mate, look, I think I think the more time goes on, I think my tenor is more and more like getting real, mate. I really do think. I think I'm gonna get vindicated. I really do. Rahi Ali, big shout out to Rahi Ali, is a good follower. But yeah, he thinks so too. So
what's the best on, Champsy?
oh, Vohan. Hello, Vohan. How you doing?
Hello.
He made a bet with Captain Switzerland about whether or not there'll be an election this year.
Oh,
I mean, if personally, let's see. Personally, for me, I'd be up for it. But if a people vote does get passed by Labour, I'd rather it happen next year because I'd rather not a people's vote undermine Labour's chances of winning.
Well, what's the people's vote? That's basically a second referendum.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What is it?
Not
It's, if we don't get a deal, then we're scrapping Brexit.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, so you got like three options, right? You can't have a binary choice anymore because obviously now you've got checkers, right? So you got checkers, you've got stay in, or you've got exit on WTO rules, right? And I think this is the if there is going to be another referendum, which is blatantly impossible with three ideals, the only way that we're gonna actually deal with this shit is for a general election, because it needs to be discussed with regards to the manifestos and what each party actually runs on. That's why I'm talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
What do you think, Farhan?
Right.
Sorry. Oh, right, yeah. Well, it's just well, sorry, I fucking my mind went there. So basically,
vegetables. They're affecting your head.
No. I was shamelessly playing a game and my concentration. I do apologize for that. It's very disrespectful to not pay attention after I ask a question. So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I don't even know what fucking checkers is. So what is checkers?
Something about I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows, to be honest. I think it's more of May's current Brexit deal plan, which no one seems to like.
It's something that looks close. That looks to most people closer to staying in the single market and the customs union, but just with a different name to it.
Let's see, I know Mr. Fielding wants us to all get behind it, but otherwise it'll be a hard Brexit. But hey.
Well, I have no problems with us staying in the single market. I mean, we can still leave the European Union and be a country that trades with them to their standards, which would be the single market. I mean, there's no issue there. You'd still get your Brexit and you'd still get your trade, but obviously the EU don't want that because that sets a bad precedent because they're like acting like some sort of dictator and it's one of the serfs of left, you know.
Also, Brexiteers wouldn't want the Chequers deal because in their eyes, it's Brexit only in name. Also, a lot of Remainers wouldn't want it because it's effectively staying in the EU, but without being a player at the table, without participating.
Right, but
It's a Brino
Is-
thing.
why is it Brexit, but all but? I mean, why is it Remain all but in name? I mean, is it because you'd still get the freedom of movement, and
Yeah,
they'll have to
because
abide their laws?
it's
That's
still
right.
the rules and regulations attached with the deal with the EU requires, which is why people make that.
Well, that's not what. Fuck that then. I mean, that's that is basically it's a pointless fucking thing. You may as well stay in the European Union and be one of the guys on the table then if you're going to do all that.
Yeah,
exactly.
indeed,
That's the point.
indeed, and then that is basically negates the entire fucking exercise, right?
Right.
Well, it makes it all pointless, really.
Whose channel is this on?
Mine.
Champ G.
Oh, right, okay.
And we've got 17 people watching now. So, what I would like to ask you guys in the side chat is, of course, thank you, Bubblevis, Goon143, and Average Show, of course, the sensible Paddy. I would like to ask you, did you enjoy the Sunday stream today? I had a great fucking time. It was absolutely brilliant on the Sunday stream today. What did you guys think?
So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I particularly like Matthew's point was saying, let's say the only kind of people's vote that should really be acceptable is if it's are we going to have a deal or no deal kind of Brexit. I think that would be perhaps the most suitable one because, face it, people's vote with just to remain and cancel Brexit just sounds like a second referendum, and the FPP people and those people vote people fail to include that option or not.
Well, I've always thought, like, with the Brexit negotiations, they were being very hard faced about it and openly so. So we were, I mean, and it was no benefit to them or their people, and we should have highlighted that for their own people, the European people, to realize, listen, they're being a bunch of twats. They're basically trying to fucking bully us in to having like a shit deal with them. We're not going to take it. We're going to be strong. We're not going to be fucking let them bully us into like nothing. And they're doing this just because they're being spiteful and they don't want one of their little minions to leave without being punished. And everyone should realize that.
I think it's right. Like, I mean, we've been trying to negotiate for the last 2 years, and I think there's a certain amount of ideals that you know, the Tory party, right, from an external point of view, I mean, I'm saying this just from an independent, observer. They've been quite shit, right?
Oh, they've been terrible.
Absolutely shocking, right?
No balls at all with the negotiating. Just
no. Actually, I disagree with that. I think that all balls or no balls. It seems to be like one or the other. But even then, these are supposed to be the people that are part of the government, right? And like, even if we do crash out with WTO, right, which is quite possible, what have they done in the last 2 years?
Well, they've just fudged it.
Well, even then, what have they done in the last 2 years?
Well, they've lowered on the face of it. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, well, unemployment's down. There's less amount of people on the job seekers allowance, less people on benefits." It's like, yeah, because you've made them all homeless and sanctioned them. You're forcing people to have these shitty 0-hour contract jobs, which is povertizing them even more.
Indeed.
And like,
what is actually really, really quite interesting is actually listening guys from the right actually agree with guys from the left.
I mean, people from the right, will agree with this because this is actually true.
Yeah.
You can see the effects of this.
So
I wouldn't even say I'm properly left anymore. I don't know. I'm sort of like I'm not sure. I'm probably slightly left. I'm left in. I've got certain principles, and I've said this before about social safety net and stuff like that.
See,
Yeah.
like my only indication with you is either with you snoring and to be fair, it was really, really late and you were really, really drunk, so it's fine, right? Are you drinking now, by the way?
No.
Why not? Let's have a drink together.
I've got work tomorrow morning. I've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Why? Why are you getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Because I want to earn money.
I'd rather no one be drinking on a stream. I don't want to have no one of those Stizer confrontation-like things.
Speaking of Stizer, so you're fresh off another vegan debate, Vohan.
Oh, what? No, fucking hell. It was just. What you on about the side chat with G Whistler?
Well, yeah, with Whistler.
No, he just. Yeah, no, I wasn't debating him. I was just basically. He says some things like, "Oh yeah, well, I need it for my health," and it's like, well, you know, you have to prove that, and he'll say, "Well, it's it's natural or stuff like that." That's just, if you can't.
I'd expect
prove
better
that,
from a person like Whistler. I really would.
Whistler's a fundamentalist, I think, and there is it's very difficult to actually disagree. You need to have your shit in order if you're going to do it. I mean, if you're going to debate someone like James, that's like fucking shooting fish.
No, he just.
Oh, leave him alone.
G Whistler just gets really, really upset when you beat him, or like when you bring like evidence to the table. He just throws his dummy out the thingy. Because we did this on Twitter with my friend Tim Jong-un. He's not called that anyway. I mean, he is actually called Tim, but he's just his like nickname. And he's a really clever guy, like doing like some sort of fucking science shit. After being a chef. And being quite invested in cooking meat and stuff like that. But anyway, we went through like shit tons of studies with him, G Whistler, and he was just getting owned. And yeah, he just threw his threw his toys out the prom. So I don't know. I mean,
I don't want to. Normally I don't do names on my channel. So, oh, hello. Someone's just joined us. I think this is.
Can I check I'm coming through?
Yes.
Can people hear me?
We can hear.
Actually, are we can hear you.
Oh my! I thought I was going to have to sacrifice my tablet in a pentacle or something to get it working. Gonna have to
absolutely brilliant. You're Andy, right?
Alex.
Alex, sorry.
Yeah.
From what I can recall, you seem to be a meme person.
A meme person or a meme person?
Meme.
Yes. Yes, that's
meme.
Exactly what you just said. A meme person.
I fully embrace the age of the trollocracy. Believe me. Look, the President of the United States is a former WrestleMania champion. How do we not live in these times? Right?
Indeed.
Of course,
memes made flesh.
All right. Okay. So we're 30 minutes in, right? So this is when we start. Okay. So my name is Chamchi Gimbap, the political fish, and now we have a full fucking panel. We have Bubble Vis in the side chat, and of course Jody 1987, Jimbo Jones, Goon 1403. Average Joe, of course. Average Joe is always there. He's one of our political, what you would say, paddies. There we go. And we are joined by Will, Vohan, John Cooper. Have you made any barrels recently? Obviously, Cameron Hickman, who is the genius. He's the only one that would ever get 7 out of 7 in a political question time. And of course, a new person called Alex. So thank you guys for joining us. This is the wind down, or the wind up, I suppose, of the Sunday stream on the 17th of September 2018. And of course, there will be people to join us in a bit. I hope Angels will join us in a bit as well. So being the last one to join and a new person to one of our channels would be my question to Alex. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm heavily procrastinating, and I will actually be off to the pub quiz in a little while anyway, so I've just sort of popped in.
I would, if you can stay here for at least the next 10-20 minutes, can you sort out your microphone, because it sounds like you're in a tunnel. Also,
Sound like I'm
sorry.
Oh. Does it sound like I'm talking to you from a locker at the bottom of the sea?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, like you've got a blanket over you or something.
Right, okay. Well, here's the thing. I've got to pop out fairly soonish anyway. How about I just leave it for today, get everything sorted out, and then I'll camp in the side chat and come back on another time when it's all better.
Yeah, maybe. As we said, Bubble, this Alex is muffled. I would also like to, one of the first people, I mean, Vohan, isn't it? Like, the first time you've come on my channel, is that right?
No, once before, once before, Stizer, you and Stizer were very drunk, and it was just you two, and I'd come down and we talked about Total War gaming and stuff.
Oh, right, okay. Cool. Oh, yeah, maybe it was when I was first introduced to you, and I said, like, I understand the idea of veganism because, you know, with the idea of the whole methane gas thing, you know.
Right, yeah, the environmental aspects of, well,
of you know, being, yeah, but meat tastes good, man.
Yeah, but that doesn't really fly with me as a good argument, you know.
It does with me though.
Yeah, but imagine, you know, I couldn't use that in another context, and you would reject it, you know.
Okay. So put it in another context then.
You might taste good.
I probably do.
Or, you know, a baby might taste good. No one's gonna accept that.
It tastes like chicken.
Justification,
That's what I heard. So next argument, come on.
What? Next argument? I mean, I was just responding to you.
Better arguments than this.
Babies taste like chicken. So what's up?
Why shouldn't? Are you okay with that?
What?
I just assume you would not
Are
be.
They farmed? Are they farmed?
Well, they could be.
Yeah, there we go. Then it's fine.
It's okay. Well, I think that is an absurd position, and I think most people will reject Champshi's baby farm.
Oh, that's a new hashtag. Hashtag Champshi's baby farm.
Baby farm. No, of course you're right. Of course, there's no logical argument. But the thing is, there are meat eaters around the world, and how are you going to stop people from eating meat apart from just being completely a dick about it?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's the argumentation of like, well, you can just like debate people. I mean, that's not necessarily always going to be the best way to convince people to like change the whole lifestyle. It might be with some people it works with it, you know, if they're like, I don't know, logical like autism guys. But that's just a little dig at myself there. No, yeah, I mean, there's better people than me at it. Fucking hell, there's good people who are better at convincing.
No, dude, I don't give a fuck about anybody else. I'm talking to you. Like, so tell me about what you think, man. How would you stop people eating meat tomorrow?
Well, I'm not.
But then, if you did stop people eating meat tomorrow, what are you gonna do with all the cows?
Oh, well, if we breed the cows into existence, so if people stopped eating them, the farmers would stop breeding them.
Mm-hmm.
because there'd be no point. They wouldn't.
Okay, granted. So
They wouldn't make any money off them, so it'd be a waste of investment.
Granted, I'm with you. There's still going to be like 50 million cows out there or something.
Well, let's just say the less and less people eat them.
Can you hold that thought, please?
Yeah.
Because I need to change my headphones. And please, you guys in the side chat as well. Like, we need it. All right, I'll be back in a second.
It's funny, I still eat meats, but often I still find myself siding with vegans in these kinds of discussions. Just because just because the proposals made by meat eaters seem, even to me, quite absurd.
Yeah, well, you get some really bad ones. Like, you get people like when you like, I've listened to a lot of like sort of debates, and some people are just psychopaths, especially the people who argue against vegans, and they're like, yeah, no, I'd be all right with Holocaust and mentally retarded people, as long as they had no families, like chickens, or something like that. And it's like, really?
I listened to not all of it. I once listened to a section of the debate between Vegan Gains and No Bullshit. And I am by no means a Vegan Gains fan. I've got many problems with that guy, but No Bullshit just makes everything his entire side he represents look horrific. Like, his opening argument was eating meat is ethical because it's what we do already. It's kind of a socially normal. My God.
Well,
if I had No Bullshit kind of claiming to represent me in my arguments, I'd just be like, shut up, you're making it worse for me, shut up.
Yeah, well, the bad thing about it is because he's like one of the skeptic community, he already like seems to like a lot of people you automatically think, oh, he's intelligent, he thinks about things, he's skeptical, when he's really not.
No, I think can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, cool. Yes. Right, how's it? Is it cool? Right. What I want to do then, because this is supposed to be the wind down. The first thing is Vohan, why the fuck weren't you on the panel during the Sunday stream? Is my first.
Well, I wasn't up for it. Partly, I was thinking about it. I was different. But I've just been messing with this game, trying to get the settings right.
What game are you playing?
Stellaris.
Okay, no chance. So when it comes to veganism, what I would say is, as soon as the Google burger is, mainstream, then I'll go veganism. But aside from that, like the only way veganism will actually go mainstream is if there is a decent, or I suppose a mainstream kind of alternative, I think.
Well, you see, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that might be actually that might be the like more pragmatic, realistic argument you're making there. But I don't like that argument in principle, because it's kind of like saying when we had slavery, it's like people say the only way we're going to get rid of slavery is if we get automated robots to do the slavery.
Oh, no chance, mate. How dare you fucking equate fucking veganism with slavery? How dare you do that? That is absolute fucking bullshit. You fucking ass. You're a fucking ass clown, mate.
I hope you're joking, because I really didn't.
That is a fallacy.
Yes, no chance, mate. No, I think that's wrong. Absolutely wrong to equate the two arguments. I'm sorry, mate, but it is.
No, I didn't equate them.
Yes, you did. You
analogies on equivalencies.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. Everyone else are you backing me up here. All I said was, no, yeah, it's analogies on equivalencies.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're equivalent or comparing.
This is one day, like in several generations, our children's children will look back at how we are now and think, I can't believe we used to rear animals in captivity, artificially inseminate them, and then separate them from their families.
I
and kill
I
them
think
all.
so. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
No,
I
no,
mean,
that's
I
not
think you're right.
Yeah, that is a point, but that's not what I was actually saying. What I was
okay.
saying was, I like when Champsy said, the only way I think people will stop eating meat is if we replace the meat with like lab grown meat.
Hmm.
So then I was comparing someone saying, or doing an analogy of someone saying
But you're
in the
comparing
past.
slavery, though. That's
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you did.
I'm comparing the justifications. It's completely different. Or
Okay.
the method, the line of reasoning, more so. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to say, well, people are going to stop eating meat if we get lab grown, then it's like someone saying in the past, the only way we're going to stop slavery is if we get robots to do the work. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm
So
with you then. Okay. Fair enough.
But I do actually think you're probably more right, even though I think it's a shame. I think people should be.
Of course. I mean, like when you have a burger, nobody wants like animals to suffer, and I think that the idea of a vegan burger being served on a plane and people complaining about that, which I thought was actually quite funny. And we did have a discussion about that actually. So moving on from that, we've got 12 online now. We've been online for 41 minutes. Guys, do you have a question for the panel? I mean, like, it's supposed to be like a wind down, is there something that we didn't cover in this Sunday stream? Nikki M, I mean, Will, what do you think? Especially with regards, there was Sam and I were so on the same page. Did you notice that? And when it talked about renterism, we didn't really get to explore that idea as much. And I'm wondering how you guys think or thought about that. I suppose. I don't know.
Just explain to me again what you mean by renterism.
Renterism is the idea of getting a revenue without actually doing anything.
Well, you've had to save up money like if you're like a normal person, you would have had to save up money to buy the house, then rent it out. So then you've okay.
Yeah, granted. Based on that. Okay, so say for instance, you've had to buy the house, but say for instance you inherited that house.
Yeah.
Through that house, that you're then earning rent, right?
Yeah, there's a problem with it, isn't there? And one solution for this is land.
No,
tax.
I'm not asking for a solution. We're asking for a definition right now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so renterism is not producing anything, but yet getting an income. So you can do this through many ways. We can do it through stocks and shares, for instance. Say, for instance, if I don't know, a certain country goes to war and you have stocks and shares in a defense company, then those stocks will go up. People buy those stocks and then you get dividends on those stocks and shares, right? So this is renterism because you haven't done anything to earn that money. You just own the stocks and shares, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're with me, right? Okay. So renterism. Yeah. So go on.
No, I was just saying we're with you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, it goes way back to feudalism. Earning money from something you don't produce. It's renterism. Okay. and it's something that you need to keep your eye out for. It really is. Now we are the proletariat, and we can't. We are not renterists. No. It's money for nothing. That's what renterism is. It's money for nothing.
Sounds good if you're the person renting it out, though, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. It is right. And I'm trying to jump from proletariat to bourgeois, but I can't do bourgeois because I just don't earn enough money. I mean, that's the problem.
Are you renting now, Champchi?
Sorry?
Are you renting a place in South
Korea? Yes, I am. I do rent, but you must understand the fact that I don't pay a rental cost, right? So, like, although I am like for instance, you guys, how much do you spend on your monthly rent? 500-600 quid, maybe. Is that good?
I'm under some sort of housing thing, so at the moment it's just £30.
30 quid. Do you know how much I spent in rent last month? Nothing. Do you know how much I will spend on rent next month? Nothing. Do I own this house? No. Do I have equity? Yes, I do. I don't know. Like, all right, okay. So here's the question, right, to the guys in the side chat, which is really weird because we're actually fucking live. The 15 people that are there in the side chat. Do you have a question on how? On how you know, how would you like housing, or like ask me a question, or how, you know, what's the left-wing ideas, you know, aside from that, while we're waiting for those questions, tell me something, guys.
Well, going back to, I guess, relating to the previous stream again, what you're saying about fascism when someone was asking for definitions of fascism, I always find it very helpful to refer to Umberto Eco's 14 points, if you know that.
No, I don't.
Umberto Eco is an Italian writer. He grew up under Mussolini, and based on his experiences there, he came up with this list of 14 points of how to identify fascism. So until we get answers from the side chat, I can read through those if you like.
Yeah, go for it.
So number one is the cult of tradition. One has only to look at the syllabus of every fascist movement to find that the major traditionalist thinkers, the Nazi Gnosis, was nourished by traditionalist, syncretistic, occult elements. Number two is the rejection of modernism. The Enlightenment, the Age of Reason, is seen as the beginning of modern depravity. In this sense, Eurofascism, as he called it, can be defined as irrationalism. Number three is the cult of action for action's sake. Action being beautiful in itself, it must be taken before or without any previous reflection. Thinking is a form of emasculation. Number four is disagreement is treason. The critical spirit makes distinctions, and to distinguish is a sign of modernism. In modern culture, the scientific community praises disagreement as a way to improve knowledge.
Final one? Final?
Well, obviously, I won't read through them all because it is very long. But number five, he said fear of difference. The first appeal of the fascist or prematurely fascist movement is an appeal against the intruders. That's fascism, racist by definition.
Okay. So Bob Elvis asks, are lefties opposed to the robot paradise where everybody is a rentier? That's an interesting question. No, we are not Luddites. I would say we would like to embrace, and we are encouraging robotics and technology. Question to the panel: are lefties opposed to the robot paradise where everybody is a rentier? No. Go on.
I completely disagree with that idea. I think if we just don't do anything on it, and like robots do anything for us, we are no longer a free species, are we? I mean, we don't take initiative for ourselves. Also, we end up going to a state where we're so lazy, we want to rule ourselves, we trust the robots to wait for us. I mean, he's kind of just laying the ground for another tyranny.
But we're not Luddites, though, are we?
Well, it's technology, everything. I mean, I don't think we should be so fanatic about robotics or AI or anything like that. I think it's foolish. Playing with dangerous waters.
Well, I think it's with different. It's different with different people, isn't it? Like some people like to keep busy and have a job, and it feels like it gives them a sense of purpose. Other people just fucking hate the job and want to fucking sit at home, fucking.
Well, the idea of
Oreos and fucking wank and play games.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, wanking and playing games. I mean, that's a way to fucking spend an afternoon, man. Honestly, but Volhan, right? What do you do?
What do I do? Oh, I do like hospitality work.
Hospitality in which field?
Mostly like bar work and stuff like that.
So you're a barman.
Well, I basically. I work for different agencies, so I just pick the jobs that I want.
Oh, so you do like
and I can actually pick my wage now
you
as
get
well.
To
one agency,
right? And how much do you get paid per hour?
Roughly about 9. Some jobs I take it minimum wage. Roughly 9 or plus.
So I'm well, I suppose the killer like question is it you that has control over your hours, or is it the?
Oh, I have control. I have complete control.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's really
So you're
cool.
not on 0 hours,
Mr. Thomas. He's actually joined us. Thank you for joining us. Everybody in the side chat. Thomas, introduce yourself and thank you for being here.
not much to really say. Just my name's Thomas Williams, and that's it.
Thomas Williams, what did you think of the Sunday stream that Angels put together this evening?
She did really good. Really
she did a good job, didn't she? Really,
It was a good Sunday stream. Calm, relaxed. There was no aggro. A little bit of tension, a little bit of tension surrounding like the rentier thing, but that was really it. Otherwise, yeah, I think Swiss will be proud of that work.
Yeah, definitely. I wish she was here so we can give her a clap and stuff. So I think it's when like Vohan, how old are you out of interest?
I'm 30.
You're 30 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Yet you get paid minimum wage and thing.
Yeah, well, you know.
I know.
I had a.
Are you married? Do you have kids?
No.
No. Are you ever thinking about having kids?
No, I don't want kids.
No. You don't want kids? Why?
Why? Well, a few reasons, really. I mean, it's not that I'm opposed to creating life, but I do think there's some merit in knowing that there's a lot of responsibility in that, and that suffering for that being is nearly inevitable. It's not like I'm opposed to anyone ever having children. But I honestly think there should be. I mean, besides that, but yeah, that's the main reason. And also I don't want the responsibility.
You're a child, basically. You're a child.
I'm a man-child, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
here's a question. So the question for you, Thomas: who is the person depicted on your avatar, Thomas?
That is Clement Attlee, a former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom who served from 1945 to 1951. The reason why I have him as my profile picture is because, just like me, he was a democratic socialist that gave...
No.
Britons-
Hang on. He was proper left, mate.
Yeah.
You're forgetting one qualification there. He was a proper mad lad.
Oh, shit. Fucking, we got Gerd here as well. Jesus.
Yeah.
The only other things I
I'm getting
wanted to
ready
add
for
to
breathe.
into it is he gave Britain the post-war consensus, which basically allowed nationalisation and public spending, and he gave us the NHS and the welfare state, and essentially helped create modern Britain.
Oh yeah.
Could you say he's the founder of modern Britain?
Thank
Would
you
that be
very
too
much, Thomas. That was absolutely brilliant.
Can I turn off the championship streaming?
Yes. This is a
Okay.
empty stream. Yeah. I want to ask you guys, everybody on the panel, and you can say yes or no, and everybody on the side panel as well. When someone says, "Has a socialist country ever existed?" I always say yes. England from 1945 until 1978.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, we are a socialist country. We have.
Oh, yeah.
Were.
We just
were.
don't know it, or we just don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Not even Venezuela's a socialist country.
No.
Venezuela.
80% of their industry is privately owned. Of course, Vuvuzela
But-
isn't fucking.
But you nationalise healthcare. Well, you're not.
They have less people in the public workforce than we do in Britain.
Yeah,
But,
they do.
but
Now-
your nationalised healthcare will turn into North Korea. Don't you know that?
Exactly. If you
I'll go
nationalise
live in-
healthcare, it will be
I'll go
North
live-
Korea next week.
How about trade-off?
Mm.
It's still an interesting question, isn't it? But
Always.
yes, Clement Attlee is a very sexy man. Definitely.
It's also why I've basically had multiple different profile pictures of essentially the same man, just doing different things.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so here's a question for all of you, right? What is the most how's it? It's not agreeable. What's the opposite to agreeable?
Disagreeable.
Disagreeable. Oh, fuck's sake. What's the most disagreeable idea that you've ever had when it comes to politics?
Oh,
The property ownership
Trident.
is in and it should be
Trident.
abolished.
Go on.
Trident. Oh, right.
I would say
Trident.
Trident for me.
Really? Go on, Gerd. Go on, Gerd.
Well,
Talk to
I
us
mean-
about Trident.
I've made the case before. You say it's a deterrent, but if one country launches first, you're already dead. There's no point in having it. I think it's a waste of money.
Okay, so what you're saying is Trident is dead money. Is that what you're saying? 200
Well-
billion over 5 years is dead money.
Well, yeah, it's weapons that we'll never use.
Here, mate. No argument here.
It's
could
weapons that
build,
we'll
like,
never use.
you know what how much you could do with that. I just watched I forgot what it is. It's fucking one of those science fucking YouTube channels, and it said it costs 20 to 40 billion to build a moon base. And fucking on the moon. You could build a fucking moon city with that much money.
Oh, I mean, most disagreeable idea in politics. Tough one. Are we talking generally? Or are we just talking about the current things
Whatever
that
you
we
want,
have?
mate. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Oh, okay. A privatized healthcare system.
Okay, keep going.
Worst possible idea ever, and my evidence to that is the United States and their dreadful healthcare system.
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
no-brainer, mate. That's a no-brainer. All right. Okay. So, if you were Prime Minister of the UK tomorrow,
what would be the first policy that you would do?
Media reform.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that.
What would that
and
entail?
how would you reform the media?
You know the impartiality rules that come into place at a general election?
Yes.
I would basically have those apply all year round for the foreseeable future.
Would you Leveson stroke 2?
Absolutely. Leveson Part 2 would definitely be something I would want to do straight away.
Leveson Part 2, Electric Boogaloo with Battle Royale.
But I just want to ask a few questions to that. I mean, would you apply that to say there's some people on YouTube, for example, that consider themselves like small-time journalists? Would they have to comply to this, even though they're not? You know, they've got fucking 50 subscribers. And they just walk around with the phone.
Question. I mean, such as me, I've only got like
so basically
12 subscribers. So yeah. Would
So-
you apply the same thing to me?
No, social media people would be exempt from this. It would only apply to, like, you could call it legacy media, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
The big guns, the newspapers and stuff like that.
BBC,
Yeah.
ITV, Channel 4, those boys.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't believe in regulation of social media at all, because it is often a slippery slope to government censorship.
I tell you what, though, with regards to the BBC, which is something you just brought up, I think with regards to the BBC, I think it really needs to be democratized. I think it's absolutely disgusting that we watch BBC Question Time and it's weighted to the right.
Yeah,
You know, I think that's absolutely disgusting. When right, this is a thing, right? When it's 40% of the public of voting age, right, actually voted for a socialist government. So surely, if there's 5 or 6 guests, right, two of which should be on the socialist left, right? Not a soft left, not a centrist. No bollocks. At least 2 should be proper socialists, right? Now, I do appreciate the fact that we've had quite a good representation with Politics Live, and we've had Michael and Ash on Politics Live, and I think that's pretty cool, and I think that's quite cool, but it's not mainstream. It's not mainstream.
no, it's not.
Yeah. But yes, I was very, very like the first fucking BBC QT to actually kick off, have one person from class. I think it's quite fucking shit to represent the left. Like, and the other thing is the vocabulary and the fucking shit that they talk about. Julia, oh yeah, some woman from talk radio, and then we have a left-wing woman from class. Okay. So why isn't the woman from why isn't Julie Hartley Brewer labeled as left wing, right wing? Sorry, right wing, because she's proper fucking right, mate. Julia Hartley Brewer is a fucking poison dwarf, mate. She proper is. Yeah. Why isn't she labeled? No. Why isn't she? Here's a question for you. Why isn't she labeled as right wing? Yeah, the person from class is labeled as left wing.
Because there is.
And what's the problem?
Right.
And here's the problem. And here's a question to you guys in the side chat as well. What is the problem with being left wing?
Well, apparently, I suppose for the centrists and right wing millionaires, it's just that we want to take away their money and stuff, or something like that.
You're going to tax us into oblivion.
Oh yeah. Apparently we're too similar to communists or Joseph Stalin.
No, I'm to make everyone ashamed to be British.
Dude, right? I'm a fucking communist. Yes, I am. I'm literally a communist. Fucking idiot. Like literally, I am a communist, right? And you saw this tonight, right, with the Sunday stream, like Sam and I, right, we were literally singing from the when it came to renterism and everything else, we were literally singing from the same page, right? We know this shit. Yeah. Dude, ask me a question when it comes to communism, when it comes to like, yeah, we don't want your fucking house, you dickhead, weirdo. Why would we want your fucking house? We're not coming for your property, seizing the means. No, we're coming for your factories, mate. Yeah, we just want like our next door neighbor to have their bread. Yeah, that's all we want. We just want bread for everybody. We just want. We just go on.
Let them eat bread.
Let them eat bread. Exactly.
I think it's good intentions, but I mean, let's say you get in power, Champsy. The communists get in power, and they do this. Like,
I'm not
feel sorry for
yes, I'm literally a communist, but you must understand. You need to understand that there's a shit ton of tech behind me.
Right. But like, let's just for a hypothetical scenario.
Hypotheticals. Okay.
Let's just say the communists get in power and they do this to the people with the factories, and you've got this one guy 30 years ago. He's broke, he's working a dead-end job, works dead hard, saves up some money, starts making something, starts selling it, starts making more, starts selling it, and eventually, he spent all his life working fucking really hard, and he eventually, gets a production line going, and then the commies come and just take everything he's worked for. Like, isn't that? I mean, that's
did it all single.
I don't understand the point, though.
Well, the point is. Isn't it a bit? It's a bit ass on him, isn't it? This guy. I mean, it's.
Hang on. I don't like. What are we taking from him? Like, so this guy, he's been working for 50 years, right? And he's got a pension and whatever, So his future post retirement is sorted, surely. Now, this is one of the things that people don't understand, right? Is that post-retirement, of course, yeah. Now, I'd rather this guy that you're describing, actually have access to the best of society than anybody else. So, like a rentier, somebody else like that has no access or even have even a step in society as such. I'd rather it will be him to have be relaxing on rentier kind of points rather than someone else that has no fucking no skin in the game. Does that make sense? Or do you want me to re-explain? Do you want me to clarify it?
I think I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, because even though he's got this, and you basically he doesn't have to worry. He's saying it's time for his retire.
Yes, it's his remote.
I understand that.
It's
point.
His time in the Cloverfield.
I do have to respond to G. Whistler's point, saying this guy would have been exploiting the working class. Well, here's the thing: if he's advertising jobs and people consent to doing these jobs and getting paid, it's not a compulsory thing. They don't have to do it. If anything, they're exploiting themselves.
Fucking join the panel, mate. Anyway,
if they don't find the work, then they die.
So it's not really a voluntary thing because it's a
then you're talking about the idea of capitalism, of course, and the idea of voluntarism, and it's all fucking bullshit, and we know this. We know it's fucking bullshit. Us on the left, I mean, like, this is a thing, right? And this is a thing that really fucking go on.
No, I'm just saying, I'm in two minds about all this at the moment. So.
Go on.
About whether capitalism is actually all that bad. I mean, some bits of it's bad.
Well, no. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It served its purpose, but its purpose has ended. That's all I'm saying.
It was needed in like the Industrial Revolution in the 1850s and 60s, around about that time, and it was needed in Soviet Russia in order to drag them out of the Dark Ages. But like with everything, there comes a time where a system has outlived its usefulness. Much in the same way that once you're sick, you take medication, and then once you're cured of your illness, you stop taking the medicine. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, but I'd probably say we're not there yet. I'd probably say we have to wait till we have a bit more automation.
Automation.
Yeah.
So we've got James, who's our local right winger. Hey, James.
Hello, guys.
How you doing?
Fielding.
Absolutely marvelous as always.
Absolutely excellent.
Apart from it's getting really dark really early nowadays, and I hate autumn.
Oh,
and
that is the most depressing thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like
I
autumn.
miss the long days.
I like autumn too. Yeah.
Is it really dark where you guys are right now?
It's not really dark, but it's overcast, dull, and it's been raining all day.
It's 3:30 a.m. So of course it's fucking dark, you weirdo.
Not you,
perspective, it's dusk.
Guys in the UK.
It's dusk.
On my end, it's twilight.
That's what it is. It's dusk at the moment.
So, at the end of the day, the way I see it, I think that that yes, capitalism is fucking dying, right? Dying is almost fucking dead, mate. Maybe I should not mince my words so much, right? Going beyond capitalism, we're looking at Marx, right? So,
so just pull you up on that. So you think that capitalism will be replaced by Marx?
No, I think he will be involved when we, and probably G will agree with me. Krupke would be involved as well. It's all about just people needing their bread, mate. I think, and also it's the idea that, like, okay, so James, here's a question for you, and I posed this to you during our debate that we had, is that how are you going to or how does the right feel like they're going to address the massive technological unemployment?
We discussed this slightly in the debate we had. Again, I've not really looked into it. I don't think.
Don't you think you should have though? Like you've had
me personally, I could have done, but you know, live busy lives. I'm not going to be anyway. I don't. To be fair, I don't really know. What I will say is, what's the alternative on the left? What do they plan to do?
In what? Yeah, what?
Well, what Chamchi said is got technical. Obviously, the growth of technology.
I'll tell you what the left are actually.
Automation. Okay.
Yeah, automation, technological unemployment. The UBS and the UBI is quite easy.
Yeah, I know. I remember us going over this. You was in favour at the time of removing the state and having a UBI instead of the state, if I'm right in thinking.
That's right. Yeah. No. Welfare. So to say the state is
okay. Remove the welfare. Yeah, my mistake. Remove the welfare and replace it with the UBI. Again, I would disagree. Again, I'll disagree on that on the basis of it's never really been trialed anywhere, and so we don't know how.
Like I said before,
how it would work.
Uncharted waters when it comes to where we're going politically. Really, don't you think?
Not in this country, I don't think.
Really?
But
Really?
No,
Really?
no.
Oh, okay. So we're trying to exit out of Europe. That's never happened before.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
actually happened.
Yes. The Brexit won't be as bad as, well, not as bad as people make out. We really won't see a change in our lives because the government won't want us to. Because apart from freaking blue passports, that's the only thing that will change in people's lives. I know self-employed people. I
But
have
I
a few
want my
mates.
fish, my
Everyone,
sovereignty, and my blue passport.
Yeah,
them
fucking
three.
fish, mate. It's all about the fish, isn't it?
Everybody wants to fish, but there's a lot of self-employed people who I speak to, and they're slightly worried with Brexit, but they're only slightly worried because they don't know the end state. In my opinion, what will happen with the end state is we'll get some sort of fluffy deal. It won't even really be a deal. It'll just be this will be the transition. During the transition, we can negotiate our trade deals, and that's it. But then the trade deals that we negotiate will probably just be carbon copy trade deals that we have with the EU anyway. So there won't be massive changes. So I don't really agree with the country changing too much from the status quo, how you'd put it. What I would say is obviously there's a rise of the left in the country. That's evident with the last election. But until the left get into power, and even if the left do get into power, what's still a big if because we don't know when, will they be able to change so much? And I would disagree.
So Bazar has a question. He says, so apart from the passports, roaming, phone charges, and the fish, what did the EU ever do for us? I think there's a Monty Python thing. There's a Monty Python kind of theme coming from this.
Here's the problem, Bazza, and this goes to all Ramonas generally, is we've got our country back.
Well, exactly. So all that matters, getting the country back.
Nothing else matters.
Go on.
I think under all this, what matters is transparency. When people say people want to see what actually is going on behind the scenes. When people want to say our country back, really they want to feel like they're in control of what's going on in the country. But I think I think that's probably the aim of society. To actually power back. We've stuck society in a bottom approach rather than a top down one. It's a sensation that I get what actually is deep from that argument.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, it is transparency, you know. As long as we get an idea and we have the illusion of control. The illusion, I think, that's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah, I think people thought they're being ignored. People thought won't be listened to. So they really want to put power back in what they see, what should be supreme parliament, which is behind the sovereignty of it, even though we are sorry enough to leave without permission. So we're not. So we are very comfortable on it. Yeah, people want transparency, basically, and want to feel like they can control the destiny, which they don't.
But weren't we more or less already in control anyway? After all, the government's white paper on the leaving the EU basically said we've always been sovereign, but it hasn't really felt that way to some people. I mean,
because they were, in my opinion, they were very well manipulated by the Leave campaign and even the Remain campaign, for that instance, saying, well, the EU are lawmakers, they set our own laws and stuff. Where when you ask these people to name a few laws that the EU do and question them on it, they're like, they can't. First of all, they can't name them. When you question them, I agree with that one. You know, apart from like you have the one, oh yeah, but they've put directors on freaking bendy bananas or freaking shoe sizes or crap like that. Why should they control how bendy my banana is or what? Things like that. But when you actually speak to Leave people, my dad's a Leave voter, and when I speak to him, he's like, he doesn't know a single EU law.
But does he realise, James, that he's going to get a blue passport?
He does. He does.
And he's going to get a whole shipment of Brexit fish.
Thing is, he don't even like fish either.
I just had my passport renewed this year, so I won't be seeing a blue passport for 10 more years.
My heart bleeds.
You ain't a true patriot then, are you, Will? You're a traitor.
Carry on, Cam.
All right.
I'm a Burgundy.
James.
No. Before you answer my question, Cameron wanted to say something, so we'll let him speak. Go on, Cam.
This issue of all of this, people that know the laws. The question is, if you're not aware of rules, then that is a problem about society or some laws. I mean, I know most people don't know laws, but if you're not sure about what is laws and what's laws made by others or the EU, that's actually quite a huge problem about transparency again. Society. People are not aware what's going on, and then it is a massive issue that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it comes back to that problem of transparency.
Also,
I think. Sorry.
Many of the laws and regulations just created by the European Union. It's not necessarily created by Britain inside it, actually. I mean, the Commission have got acts of law or we have the ECJ, so it's not always in approval with its government, actually. A lot of times it's not. And that confuses the matter even more.
So I have a question for you, James.
Okie doke.
So you've seen, we've proved to you in the Gini coefficient, and you've seen how inequality have expanded through the ideas of neoliberalism and Thatcherite economics. So I'm asking you, as a human being, bearing in mind that because of Thatcherite economics, you are basically going to live 5 years before you're going to die, 5 years before your prime. I wonder, why do you vote Tory?
Just repeat that again about dying 5 years. I didn't understand that bit.
Okay.
I think what he's saying is you are going to live 5 years shorter than what you should be living at due to neoliberal economics.
Well, that is an absolute load of shite, to put it in word phrase. Yes, because life expectancy has gone up in this country.
Has it?
Am I right? I would.
Really? No.
I would like to think so. I would like to think so. I'm quite sure of it.
Actually, it's gone down. Right.
Well, you please show me a statistic from 2010 to 2018 where it's gone down, and you'll argue that austerity won't work. But I'm sure since Thatcherite policies in the 1970s to now, that life expectancy has gone up. I can have a look in a minute when you ask someone else's a question. To answer your other question, what the reason why I vote Conservative at the last few elections.
There we go. Bazza knows. Yeah, everyone knows. Everybody knows, mate.
Well, everyone might. Bazza might. I'll have a look later, and if
do you want me to pull up the same fucking graph?
Carry on.
I've got
Thomas.
a picture, by the way, from the World Bank in regards to life expectancy. I'll post it into the Google Hangout chat so you can see it, but it's from the work conducted from 1960 odd to 2015. You've got it in the Hangout chat now.
Yeah, so it has risen. Yes, it has. So it's risen from 70 to 81. Which I did think, to be fair. So I was right in that.
I just looked something about this. Now, what I'm reading here is slowly increasing what the articles I'm reading. very recently as well. They're saying that British women live shorter lives than all Europeans, all over Europeans. So this is the issue we may need to look at. Also, life expectancy, but what I'm reading suggests it may have decreased in certain regions of the country.
Yeah, I would agree. But as a general rule, like I said, the question was that neoliberalism takes 5 years of your life, and that was factually untrue. From what I've,
I will make one point.
By the way, I can't like it's not like I can give you a graph, or it's not like I can give you.
Wait, hold on.
I do actually have a reference if you really want. It's called the Spirit Level, right? But you have to read the book, mate. And I know you're really bad at reading because you're Mancunian. So,
well, I kind of feel like it's
sorry, quick. Nikki M has linked an article in the Bird Chat about this, and it's from the Independent. And apparently, life expectancy has gone down by a year in the last decade, I think it was.
I would probably say that it might have gone down in the last.
My question, my question actually is, why would you vote for that shit? Why would you vote Tory when you know, like, it's not just you? You're literally preventing yourself from living longer. Is my question.
Well, the question that I would ask is, first of all, you said it was 5 years, and now it's 1 year. So we're going down slowly.
I can prove it to you, but you have to read the book. And I know you're Mancunian, so I know you can't read, so it's fine.
That's regional.
Sorry? Mate, I can't read anyway.
There's something to it, right? Look, I also looked at the highest countries, the highest life expectancy, are the social democracies, such as Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland. Also,
that is true.
Japan has high expectancy. Maybe there's something to it.
A better example would be, rather than looking at it increasing over the last 70-odd years, is do what Cameron's just done, compare it to the social democracies, and you'll see that they live longer than not only just us, but America as well. In fact, pretty much any country that does Thatcherite economics.
Well, you have to look. I mean, you can look at all these things, but it's kind of hard to actually find, the actual the cause of all this, higher or lower living expectancy. You could look at diet. You could look at certain habits. I mean, and I don't know if any of this sort of reflects on like the governments in power. I mean, certainly some of it will do, especially if they've better healthcare and they provide healthcare for all the public. Yeah, definitely. Then them countries will have a higher life expectancy without a doubt.
No, you're wrong.
What am I wrong about?
Sorry. No, you're absolutely wrong. When it comes to the ideas of inequality, and specifically, and this is something that I addressed when I was dealing with the ideas of Thatcherism and neoliberalism specifically, right? Since there was the idea of neoliberalism, the Gini coefficient went from 1.1 all the way up to 0.03. Okay, so a Gini coefficient of 1.0 is like the most unequal society you can ever imagine, right? A Gini coefficient of 0.0 is the most equal society ever. So obviously you can understand there is never going to be a country that is 1.0 or 0.0. Okay, you understand that, right, Farhan?
Mm.
You're with me, like, so far, right? Now,
hello, Angels.
During Angels, now
Angel is here.
Hello. Okay, come on. I'm on a thing. Like, let me finish. Okay. So, now, between 1979 and 2000, the UK went from a Gini coefficient of 1.0. Sorry, not 1.0. That's it. 0.0 it's fucking crazy. I'm gonna have to just fucking show you. It went from 1.5 or something to 0.3. So it literally jumped hugely.
Sorry, you're gonna have to-
Neoliberalism basically increased inequality threefold, and now when you talk about inequality, then what's that going to do? It's going to increase the crime. It's going to increase the fact that child obesity. It's going to increase loads of different factors on society that generally you wouldn't understand. Okay, do you understand?
All I said was it's kind of hard to find the actual causation of all these things. You can, that's pretty much all I said, and I think it's kind of hard.
It also okay. So let's take two.
And a lot of the terms you were using there, like a Gini coefficient or whatever. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so you can Google it. It's called Gini.
Gini
Gini
coefficient is literally just a measure of inequality within a society.
Right. So you think that yes, that might have certain good relation to life expectancy.
Well, it's not. It's not very good at all because
not good as in like, oh, it's a good thing. Good as in you can look at the data and say, oh, right, there's a connection.
Indeed, yeah.
I mean, in my view, the Human Development Index is probably better, but that's just my view.
That's fair enough. I accept that. I think that being one of the richest countries in the world, top 6, right? The fact that we have so much inequality within our country is disgusting.
I agree.
Absolutely disgusting. Also, what I would like to say is welcome Angels and give her a clap because that was a brilliant Sunday cast.
You love it.
Yeah.
Whose
house? Angel's house. I said whose house?
Angel's house.
Angel's house.
Your house now. But the thing is, like I said, I felt absolutely knackered. I just went into town to pick up some wine and stuff, and welcome back, Thomas.
I just cut out for some reason, but there you go.
And then one of my mates was working in she works part-time in one of the wine bars there, so I'm like, oh, I'll just drop by, have a glass of wine in town. And I was sitting there, she's like, you look knackered. And I was like, I am knackered. I was like, honestly, I know it sounds ridiculous because all we were all doing was sitting there on our arse. It's like, but yeah, exhausted.
Check out the ones coming through on you in the side chat. Everybody's saying you did a wicked. Woo!
But yeah,
bravo.
You did a great job.
My chicken dinner's nearly ready, but
winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah.
I texted Swiss earlier, telling him that we all did it. We were all there, and quite a few people turned out. It was good, so it was a good show. And I was like, oh, you can always drop by later on the Bullet Hangout or whatever. So hopefully you can a bit.
What time does he finish work, actually?
I think he might have finished already, but he's probably just having chill out time. He might hop on.
Work is tiring after all, especially his type of work.
Yeah.
I'm actually, guys, this is online. This is the wind down. So yeah, I mean, it was, mate, top shelf. Good job, Angels. Really, really good job. I'm glad you managed to join us.
Well, it was you lot just as much, because I'm glad that we had a good discussion over it. Do you know what though? I didn't get through. I just realised we had about 2 or 3 articles that I'd been given by other people as well that we didn't even get to. So That's how much us ramble for that we didn't even get through the articles. I still got this. We can go over it next week or whatever, or later in the week if we do.
I kind of feel really guilty though, because I feel that me, Matt, and Sam were just arguing too much.
By the way, we've got another sort of life expectancy thing in the side chat from James in the Google Hangout one. You can look at.
Okay.
And see what you think of that.
Oh,
where is it?
Yeah, I do.
Google.
I need more wine from the proletariat's vintage.
Google Hangout chat. That's where it is.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, I think one of the reasons why America might have a terrible life expectancy, except for its terrible healthcare system that bankrupts
It's
people,
because they're shooting each other.
Yeah, the murder rate in America is 4 times per capita than other European countries. I'm not talking about murder with guns. I'm talking about murder in general.
Alex has just reminded me in the side chat of one of the articles that I didn't get around to, which is that the middle classes have like a real issue when it comes to like opiate drugs and various drugs and booze way more than people, because it's like associated with like sort of basically working class or whatever.
Oh, indeed. I mean,
And
if you look at the idea of, you're exactly right, Angels. I mean, the idea of democracy or the war on drugs it wasn't a war on drugs at all. Like, it was a war on democracy, because they figured the bourgeois actually figured out that that in the 1970s, 1980s, that all of the Afro-Americans were generally will vote fucking Democratic, and that's the problem. They had to find a way to stop people voting Democratic, and so they had to find some shitty reason to stop them voting. And so if you had a criminal record, you then lose the right to vote, and that's what the war on drugs was always about.
What my position is on it. I think we should. I'm really, really liberal with that. I think we should legalize and semi-regulate everything.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by
actually right? Actually, you're exactly right. Do you know why? Because especially when it comes to poor people, like especially Rubicon, right? She's having to take, like heroin based drugs, right? Like morphine and shit like that. I'm sorry, man, but morphine is a shitty fucking drugs.
I'm sorry, I did. Yeah, it is. But did I specify? I didn't specify when I said semi-regulate. What I mean is within a realistic, because obviously it's really difficult to test every single thing. Like if you legalize everything, it's really difficult to test.
But that's what they have in Portugal, right?
Yeah, and
it's decriminalization. If you get caught with drugs in Portugal, you're not just allowed to go free. You then have to face a panel.
Yeah, you and also taken off your
therapy and things like that.
Yeah, it's not. But the thing is, I think you should just legalize it, or legalize it and tax it like you do with booze, and then the money can go back into the system. Because
you can offer help to people if they want it to get off it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, it should be like I've seen it enough times, like people on heroin, right? And the thing is that you can live a life on heroin. I mean, it's fine. You can live your life on heroin. What really fucks you up is coming off heroin. But what fucks you up more is the liquid. They used to call it liquid handcuffs. Is the morphine fucking shit they get you on afterwards.
Methadone.
Methadone, yeah. They call it liquid handcuffs. Yeah. Fuck that shit, man.
Carry on.
The example
Middle class yuppie from Cheshire is gone.
Go on, Cam.
We took an example of how buying drugs or beverages or anything works. Now, Well, I think most people are aware of this, but the prohibition in the United States got work up pretty further, which prohibition lasted for 13 years in the United States, between 1929 and 1933. It led to the massive growth of basically criminal gangs dealing with alcohol. And one of these great drug lords of the 1920s, like people like Al Capone, people like that. And it created a lot of rise of murders associated with the industry that people behind the scenes. And also led to these secret speakeasies and things like that. But the point about this is key. Because if you look at actually most drug crime and most gangs, they're probably more associated with the trade of drugs. So what you do, the gangs have feuds and compete with each other, so stabbings, shootings, all that. Especially places like London. So what you do, when you legalize it, you destroy these gangs because they have no reason to exist in a criminal manner. And that means, actually, if you legalize these drugs, the country might actually be a safer place.
This is something that I think that most people need to understand, and this is for everybody on that. Even if you need to understand the left, okay. So who's the biggest gangster? In fact, Cameron, you actually said he was a massive gangster. He works in New York. What was his name?
I mentioned Al Capone from the Prohibition.
Al Capone, okay. Al Capone worked in one state in the USA, right? General Smedley, right, in the 1920s and 1930s, worked on 3 different continents, right? And on the reflections, and when he spoke about, war is a racket, and he wrote a book on it, he said that Al Capone had nothing on me. He only worked in one state. I worked on 3 continents. Yeah. War is a bourgeois game, mate. I'm telling you this now. Now, when it comes to what my direction is on the left, nobody should die for bankers' ideas, for the price of oil or whatever you want, mate. Nobody. This is the thing. Full stop, mate. Full stop.
Yeah. What's so wrong about Al Capone? He didn't get for drug dealing or murders.
I don't give a fuck. You can take as much drugs as you like. Are you killing someone else? No. Right? What I really, really fucking have a shit. What I really get a bee in my bonnet about is when we start selling arms, like illegal arms, to Saudi Arabia. That's what fucking pisses me off, when we start talking about, is Israel a racist endeavor? Yeah, the state of Israel. Yes, of course, they can exist. Is it a racist endeavor? Fucking right, it is.
Definitely, it's current.
Fucking free the Gaza Strip, for fuck's sake. These are the things we need to fucking talk about. Jesus Christ Almighty! When we are involved in 2 or 3 proxy wars around the world, and nobody talks about it. Yemen, for instance, where are the arms coming out, being funded through to Yemen? Were they being produced? Cameron,
I guess
so it's just... What's this about? I literally went to the toilet.
Fucking pisses me off, mate. Do you understand why I'm so angry?
Yes.
We need a proposition. So what I want to do is I want to say thank you to Angels, thank you to James, to be here and listen to my fucking shit. And of course, we have Cameron. Say hello, Cameron, and Angels, and everybody else. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
And we have Will, and we also have Tom. So I wondered, what's the next? What would you like to talk about with Wind Down? Is there something that we didn't cover enough?
Yes.
Veganism?
Yes.
Veganism.
I think we
No,
covered that
no, no, no,
extensively in the side chat.
Debate.
Can we please talk about the greatest news I have heard in a long time?
What's that?
All right. So this
Just
is not due to the fact that actually the Conservative Party is actually backing a
no.
Oh, so Victor, it's not to do with Victor, what's his face in Hungary.
Orban.
Well,
No.
if you did that,
No.
Maybe we should talk about that actually.
Well, let James
No,
speak
maybe
about
let's
things
not
he's excited
because
about.
this
because
is
it doesn't fit your narrative, is that right? Is that why you
no, because you said let's bring up something, so I'm going to bring up something.
Okay,
Great
what-
news that can unite both the far left of the channel and the right wing of the channel. Katie Hopkins has applied for bankruptcy. Now,
Yes!
Yeah. I talked about that earlier, wasn't it? On the Boy Club.
Good
Yeah,
fucking
Casey
news.
Hopkins,
yeah.
bankruptcy
Racist
party,
shit.
bring it on! Woo!
Yes.
so I'll just read out a bit of the article.
Good fucking
Controversial
news.
right wing.
No, can you
Order!
Order!
post
don't
it?
need to be that
Can
loud.
you post it?
I tell you what I'll do. I will post it
Yeah.
because I can't screen share because I'm on my phone.
All right.
I will post it in the Hangouts chat and someone can screen share it for me. When I saw this, I thought this would be perfect because as a one of the rare Tories on here, I get a bit of the bullet. So I thought, what can I bring up that can unite both the left and the right? I've just linked it.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, like, you must understand that, obviously, the right can be a bunch of dicks, and I understand that the left can be a bunch of dicks as well, right? I feel that, right? So, I mean, what's your impression on Katie Hopkins? Really,
Well, she's a bit of a donut, to put it rightly.
Just a
bit. Like
a bit of
she is an attention seeker, drama. She's just a drama queen. What is her relevance? I'll quote Angels on this.
Yeah, you sound like Angels. She is completely and utterly irrelevant.
Exactly. Like, I just
I
don't
wonder,
get it.
Angels, what do you think of Katie Hopkins?
I think I
still
fully
there?
can speak for her.
I
Yeah.
think she's a nutter.
Yeah, she's a fucking horrible woman.
All right. Okay. So there are three horrible women that I think of when I think of horribly right wing. Casey Hopkins, Oakeshott, and Hartley
Julie Hart
Brewer.
Brewer.
Yes. Yeah, you knew it, Tom. And out of those three, who is the worst? Who gets the top trumps of right wing fucking shit tard?
Fuck, marry, kill, go.
No.
Oh,
I choose the kill option on all of them. They're shit.
Sorry, all of who?
All right. Okay. So Katie Hopkins, which is go on, James. Give.
Oh yes.
Give her the good news.
Now this is something that can unite this left, centre, and the right. Katie Hopkins has filed for bankruptcy.
What? How can she be bankrupt?
Well, she's lost a libel charge, so she's lost a case. I did link an article in the Hangout if someone wants to screen share it.
You can probably
But
screen
if
share.
not, I'm on my phone sadly, so I can't screen share.
I can't either. I'm also on my phone because I'm about to eat.
But I'll read it out anyway.
Yeah, read it.
Okay, controversial right-wing commentator Katie Hopkins has applied for an insolvency agreement, IVF, in a bid to avoid bankruptcy. Hopkins was last year ordered to pay writer and campaigner Jack Monroe thousands in damages after she lost a libel case over a tweet
Jack Monroe.
she posted in,
Whoa.
in 2015.
Right, Jack.
I kind of
The tweet.
Sorry, Jack Monroe. I kind of have a hard on for her, man. I really do. Like,
I know, right?
yeah, she's a bit fierce, man, and I love
Totally
I love her.
fierce.
Yeah.
Like, every time she's
quite
been accused
fit.
of being
yeah, because she's so fierce. Yeah, it's like you know, Pink,
like the pop singer Pink.
Yes, yeah. See, like
I put Jack Monroe on a slightly higher platform than Pink.
Oh man, they're so on the same like mate. That's yeah, but yeah, I got a hard on for both of them. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, I will. Where was it up to? So the tweet had falsely suggest that Monroe had been involved in defacing a war memorial. A judge ruled she caused serious harm to Monroe's reputation with the tweet. The food writer had asked Hopkins to apologise, but she refused, leading to a legal action and a complaint against Hopkins. Hopkins lost a regular column with the Mail Online shortly after her LBC show was axed. Both job losses came after she called for a final solution in response to the Manchester Arena terror attack. As well as thousands in damages, Hopkins was ordered to pay a bill of £107,000 in costs. She put her luxury £1 million estate mansion on the market in February this year, selling it for $950,000 within the first 3 weeks. Talking to Twitter to announce the news of Hopkins' IVA, Jack wrote, "I can confirm today that the following landmark libel case, Katie Hopkins has entered into an IVA to avoid bankruptcy. I knew for a while, but could not say anything for legal reasons."
Did you ever see the Toff? You know that.
Oh, I don't mind
that blonde head.
Oh, I fucking
she was
hate
in
her as
Celebrity
well.
Big Brother or something. You know, Toff, or she was on like. Do you know Toff? Right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know
there
what you
was-
mean.
Yeah. You know who I mean, right? So there was like they had a coffee together, like her and Toff and Jack, right? Had a coffee together, and Jack's proper left wing, mate. I love her, man. Honestly, like I like man crush, and she's what's the word? She's fluid when it comes to her ideas with whether she's a man or a woman, right? She's
non-binary, but she doesn't mind
non-binary.
what pronoun.
Yeah.
No.
She's hot though, isn't she? She's proper.
Totally.
Hot. Yeah.
Well, I think I've seen
she's
these
proper
sort
left.
of. I've seen these episodes because it was like political blind dates once. I remember one with like
Yeah.
Jess Phillips.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah.
Who did
Yeah,
was it? It wasn't with Mog. It was with somebody else. I think it was Jess Phillips versus someone anyway. And there's a few others as well, and they're really good.
Yeah.
It was Michael Fabricant she was against. Jess Phillips v Michael Fabricant. And it was quite interesting to watch.
Fabricant is a fucking god.
It's a bit.
He is a shit stain, Fabricant.
Bit jealous of his hair, though. To be fair.
He's got a wonderful wig. I like to call him a gay version of Boris
Isn't
Johnson.
he the one in the wig?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What is it with these freak far right politicians and their weird haircuts?
Wait, I think it reminds me of Boris Johnson, but a more camp version.
Funnily enough, Katie Hopkins cut her hair and dyed it a random color when she ran away
this
to
before
America.
or after the she was in the K-hole in South Africa?
This was before she went into an interview on the Rubin Report, and she cut her hair and dyed it pink or something. And this is like the type of person who lashes out against the complete straw man of SJWs on the internet. Why would she change her hair that way? when she went and made herself look like a Tumblr feminist, but that's the exact thing she argues against.
Maybe she doesn't realize, or maybe she secretly believes in that stuff, but she's just trying to be a far right person just to get attention.
Clearly,
according to
that was her career from
Alex
the start,
Ritchie.
Apprentice all the way through.
Go on, Tom. Carry on. What
I was going to say, Alex Ritchie has said Fabricant is Boris's botched clone, got squashed against the side of the test tube.
Can we just say that Alex was actually trying to join this chat, but due to technology and stuff, he will be here next time. We hope you will be here next time, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we need a question, right? Is there something that we didn't cover in the Sunday stream, like today, or even on the panel? Like, I mean, guys, I mean, there's 6 people on the panel, and I feel I'm like, it's not because of me you're here. I mean, it's because of angels, yeah, probably. But yeah,
For the memes.
What? No way.
No, well, I'm trying to think. There was something because it was a part of the start of the Liberal Democrat Party conference yesterday in Brighton. No giggles, please. Apparently, a man and the dog turned up, and that was about it. But no, seriously, apparently they were talking grammar schools yesterday. And I think I was sharing it with I think I might have shared it with you lot last night. I just didn't understand what they were coming out with. Because one second they were like, oh, we're quite supportive of selective education. And then the education spokesman for the Liberal Democrats said she would get rid of grammar schools. And I'm just like, well, it's either one or the other, mate. Yeah. I'll try and get the exact words here.
I think I vaguely remember reading an article about that, but I wanted to go to the Joe Swinson speech and also the fact that Vince Cable labelled both of the major parties horrendous. And
he's
said
not
that
wrong
he would
there, is he?
No, and well, exactly. That's why I was like, go on, Vince. Go on with your trashy ties. Brilliant. But he said that he would not enter into formal coalition with either of them, but obviously did not rule out going into confidence and supply. So it's fair play.
We have a question. Right. So this is
I think it's pretty clear that the ones who are going to do.
I've got Bazza.
So I got breaking news about Hillsborough. 2 people fell ill in a restaurant, and the police conned it off. The spectre's not returning again.
Okay, so he says, how does someone as young as James get into being a Tory? Have I missed something massive? James just secretly loaded. Or are you just a Tory shit stain? I mean, that's
basically just like because the first time I could vote was in I could vote in 2014, but I didn't bother. In 2015 was the first general election I could vote in, and basically I was just like looking at the candidate in like Cameron, Miliband, Clegg, Farage. That was mainly then. They were like the 4 choices. You had the Greens, but they're as irrelevant as my big toe. So I just thought, well, I agree with things that the Conservatives were saying. Ed Miliband at the time, and I still don't buy into the Ed Miller fandom at all. I think he's awful.
Can I ask you questions, James? And this goes to anybody on the panel as well, if you want to chip in. Do you agree that the idea of education is for the benefit of society as well as the benefit of the individual?
Well, education will help society in a way. I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Education is the most important thing for anybody.
Okay, so why would you turn it into a commodity?
I don't get what you mean by that. What? Carry on.
Okay, so if education is the benefit for society, surely it should be included in the idea of societal being, right? Surely, right? Surely.
I'm still struggling. So basically, to figure it out, so you think people shouldn't pay for education? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I think if education is to the benefit of society, why should people pay for it? Because
all right, well, I'll answer that question. Me personally, I'm supportive of tuition fees.
Why is that?
Let me get to my point. Since 2010, pupils or students.
I'm not talking about since 2010 because we all know what.
Well, that's when tuition fees risen from 3,000. We can go from.
I'm talking about ethically or morally.
Well, morally, more people are going to university than ever before.
Ethically, what do you think?
What do I think? I think tuition fees should. Well, I think they should lower them slightly, but I don't think they should get rid of them.
Why?
Well, because I think it's done more good than it's done bad. I think there are.
You think increasing tuition fees has done more good than bad?
Yes.
Okay. Apart from destroy the Lib Dems electoral chance.
Well, destroying a political party is kind of irrelevant to what I was going to say.
Well, it is.
They promised
happened though, didn't it?
Yeah, they promised to not raise tuition fees. They failed on that promise. Coalition governments of any sort fail on their promises. That's it. We can go down and name many promises failed by the Conservative, the Labour Party, and the Liberal Democrats in our time. My point with tuition fees was, if you just let,
let's
not going to let me
hold
finish
that
the point,
thought for a second because we're going to address it in just a. If you're in a side chat, if you are pro tuition fees, press 1. If you think education should be free, press 2. In the side chat now. But yeah, carry on. Come on, James, carry on. I'm waiting.
No, I was just going to say with tuition fees. Obviously, it was a big mistake by the Liberal Democrats in 2010 to then promise it, to cap it, and then fail on that promise. I accept that will haunt them for a generation and more. But in my opinion, a rise in tuition fees wasn't as bad because more people now go to university. The way they pay the tuition fees back isn't as bad as people make out, because the problem I have with the Labour Party is, Bob from will end up with £50,000 student debt. It's not really it's a debt they'll probably never really pay back because you have to earn. I think it's
then. I don't understand them. What's the point in having? What's the point in pumping up the fees to £10,000 a year, which is basically what they are? Was it 9,126?
It's 9. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
So what's the point then? If they're never going to pay it back, what's the point?
Well, people do pay it back.
Do they?
I'm just saying that of course, there are people who do pay it back, but obviously there are many people who don't pay it back. There are people who do pay it back within time.
Also, in Jack's defense, he already said that he feels that they're excessive. So,
I have said that they should lower them slightly.
Yeah, sure.
And I think they will.
What do
they,
you think is the ideal level of you know?
Well, the thing is with me, like, because there are courses like university courses that I fundamentally disagree with. Like, what I've never really understood why we should have a 3-year degree course in tourism or a 3-year degree course in health and beauty.
Okay.
You know,
have you ever studied health and beauty?
I'm never going to study health and beauty.
So how are you?
I remember being.
No,
in
seriously.
school, no, if you just let me finish my point. Okay. When I was in college and when I was at primary, secondary school, sorry, health and beauty was an option. Obviously, I never took it because I'm beautiful enough, but it was an option. But
that is pretty good.
I remember being there. I remember like observing classes, and it'd be like, why would people carry on at A level? I'm not judging people. People can go and study what they like, but I don't believe courses should be. There's certain courses that shouldn't be on the spectrum, in my opinion.
Why? Why? Like what?
Because it's just a total waste. Just things like tourism, health and beauty, things like that. There's many others as well.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. Maybe the Scalpel, pair, would have actually made their way to, I don't know, Stonehenge, if they had somebody that done a degree in tourism. Okay, so the idea is that we like never judge people, never judge. I mean, I have a degree in photography. Like, I mean, why would you spend 4 years learning how to press a button? You know.
You could make the argument for that, I guess, but I think photography, especially in this day and age, is vastly improved. It's an in-demand job, really.
Not
really. What about politics as a degree level, James?
Again, I can understand politics because politics can offer you many things, I guess.
Well, this is the thing. Right? What you're doing is you're literally. You're doing the top trumps of degree level.
Let him finish about what he wanted to say about the politics thing. I just want to hear
it. Wasn't necessarily about politics. It was like, so I'm a taxpayer. I pay my fair share of tax. Mm-hmm. I don't believe, in my opinion, that because obviously the fees have to be paid before they repay them back. Now I don't believe, and I've always said this. Why should I pay for, well, I'm not technically paying, but why should I pay for somebody to sit in a freaking tutor hall for 3 years on the backside, all the student fees paid for, all the maintenance grants paid for, getting drunk every night to study something like just they're not doing it every night, but you know what I'm talking about.
When you say something on their back,
they're
not actually doing any work.
You are all missing out. You are all missing out. A glaringly obvious answer to this.
I know, Angels, but I'm just hoping James might spot it.
All right then. Well, tell me what the glaringly obvious thing is then, Champion.
Well, the glaringly obvious thing is that firstly, not all subjects have to be degrees. You can have HNDs. You can have 1 year, whatever or GMVQs. You can have work placements. You can have apprenticeships. What's to say that one glove, like one size fits all when it comes to stuff like that? Maybe somebody does want more in-work, like a more in-work training-based thing or whatever. Now, all of that should be available. So the thing is, not everything has to be a degree. So if you do have what some people might view as Mickey Mouse subjects as like a 3 or 4 year course, then alter it then to a 1 or 2 year HND course. And maybe get sort of different rates of funding on it. Like, basically, what I'm saying is the flexibility on these subjects has to be there so people can pick and choose. Like,
exactly
I feel like this one-size-fits-all approach that everyone has to go to university, even if it's a much more vocational type course, is ludicrous. It doesn't mean that somebody is like a lesser sort of human being because they've chosen a more vocational route, or because, you know, they do a different, you know, something that's a different qualification from a bachelor's or whatever. That avoids all of the problems of what we've just been talking about, whilst keeping all of the benefits. So people can still study the areas that they want to study, but obviously there's a hell of a lot more flexibility. Job done. You know, I think that's really what our system needs to cater for.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to study, it might be. If they want to study for it, then they should pay for it. That's my opinion.
Shut up a minute, mate.
All right. Okay.
So do I'm gonna? No, I know. That was a bit rude. So James, I need to ask you a couple of questions, right? So do you like movies?
I'm not a massive movie fan.
Do you like music?
I like music, yeah.
Yeah. So you understand that you know, music. Okay, so all that music that you've listened to throughout your life, I mean, you can probably reel off, maybe it's Oasis, maybe it's I don't know, the Prodigy or whatever, you know, all those things. I mean, all those guys that love Bill Hicks will probably understand what I'm talking about now. You know, so you love music, right? And maybe it could be, I don't know, the Beatles or John Lennon or I don't know, Aretha Franklin or Motorhead. You know, you know, you understand music, right? Tell you what you should do if this is what you're talking about, is you should take all of these ideas or these tunes, you should wrap them all up and you should burn them. Absolutely burn them. Do you know why? Do you know why?
You tell me why.
Because the people that made that music were really fucking high on drugs, and they were fucking doing nothing with their lives when they created that fucking music. That's why. Yeah. That's why. This is where the creative space actually lies, you know. Why should you pay for it? Because this is where the creativeness, this is where art actually lies. You know, it's the ability to you know, it's to be not have the pressure on them to I mean, we've seen it with political turnouts. You know, if people are actually engaged and have the idea that they're actually counted, whether they have money or not, then they actually engage in it. You know, this is the thing. This is the thing. You know, to be engaged means that you are counted. You know. Like I say, go on, Angels.
Yeah, well, the point that James was bringing up, to be fair, was not anti-creativity as such. I think
it's all about why should you pay for people to be do bullshit fucking degrees, I think.
Well, you know what? I would be slightly resentful of using taxpayer money to, for example, pay. This is a relatively extreme case, but you'll see where I'm coming from. Apparently, I don't know whether this was an old wives' tale, but apparently there was actually literally a degree that was referred to as a degree, and it was learning about David Beckham for 3 years. Now, if as a taxpayer, if my taxpayers' money went to like fund some person to learn about David Beckham for 3 years, I would be really pissed off, because that's
something. It's a bit anecdotal, though.
It's a vacuous celebrity. That
it's a bit anecdotal, about. Really.
Yes, but you see the concept that I'm trying to put across.
Yes, I understand, but it's a bit anecdotal. Do you think it applies? Do you think it applies to you know, university degrees as a whole?
I don't. I think it's very rare. But I think it
very rare. Really, I've never heard of it.
can definitely happen, but like I said, we have had certainly over, I would say probably the Blair era, well, maybe even slightly earlier, but Blair era plus was like obsessed with everybody doing, like going to university per se, and everybody doing a
I
degree.
think so. Yeah, I think that's
nursing
a
and
good
you know,
argument.
and like I said, because of that, that doesn't necessarily have to apply to all areas. Is my point. I do think that if it's something that arguably is perhaps more, like I said, vocational, or I mean, really more simple, as in if it does not require, say, because I know that some degrees, when they're 4 or 5 years or whatever, they have to do posts. Like when you do medicine, for example, I think takes 7 years or whatever it is, because you know you've got the placement, and then it's a bit like when, and Will knows this, when you do, if you do sort of languages, you always have a placement abroad for a year and things to you know in the country. So you have those differences, and yet there's this push to kind of box everybody in to do the exact same thing, a degree, and it doesn't work. You know, human beings are not, despite what people say, one size fits all. You know.
But you must understand that, especially the London. I mean, a lot of our views. When I say our, I mean you and I, Angels. A lot of our views are London centric, right?
Well, maybe.
Maybe. So when we talk about if you don't have a degree, then basically you're a pleb, and it really does. At the end of the day, it's the way the economy has kind of worked out. You need to go to university, and you need to sort your fucking shit out, and at least fucking do that, right? I don't have a decent good degree. Go on.
Can I just give you an example of one of, well, it might have dissolved now, this degree, but this was from 2009. So this is when tuition fees were out. One of England's newest universities is offering tailor-made degrees in management of selling beds. Right? So you can understand the bullshit degrees that are happening.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm not saying
no. Okay, granted, right? So, like, why would you stop people from studying beds? Like,
I'm not stopping them studying beds. I'm just thinking
okay, yeah, but here's the thing, though, right? In 5 years' time, you're going to get a bed, and it's going to be really, really comfortable, and it's because your taxpayers' money went to, paying for that person that studied beds, because you're going to have a great
selling
fucking bed.
He studied selling beds.
All right, Champy, you're just fucking trolling him now.
like seriously, like why the fuck should I spend taxpayers' money?
All right. The bottom line is,
and there's so many other bullshit degrees.
Yeah,
Go
let Cam speak. He's been wanting to speak for a while.
Yeah. Can I say the idea of getting right? No, we need to have the right degrees. But no, if let's say there's not a mathematics, let's say there's 3 gender studies which are completely pointless. But there are ideas where you can do research on it, which may benefit society. That getting more knowledge in these sectors. The biggest argument though about paying the taxes for education is that these people may come back with more ideas, skills, expertise to put back in the country, which means they could come with an invention or actually get a high-paid job, which means more tax will be paid back. And that's the idea about it. It's like short-term pay for long-term gain, as you would say. But also, yeah, the system that we're having is completely flawed in terms of a lot of people don't need to go to university when they're doing all that. But I think it's all about this issue. So it's all about choice. People want to live their lives. I mean, if you want to learn something, you should be able to. But then again, you should have the resources able to learn a profession or a vocational skill. And it's with both society, which we currently do not. And it should be for all ages as well, not young people. I mean, learning new skills. So should be available to everybody, and we should promote it to everyone.
Okay,
Massive way.
so- No, I Karen, and like when you look at education, now this is the bottom line. Yes, I was trolling a little bit earlier, but that's it's just me. When it comes to education, though, right? Tell me why education is a bad thing. Education is always a good thing, especially when angels, hello, angels. Right? You say democracy. Sometimes democracy gets it wrong. Some of the reasons why democracy gets it wrong is because people are fucking idiots, right? Why they idiots? Because education is fucking wrong. And this is because we don't put the funding in it, right? Right? Tell me I'm
it's
fucking
not
wrong.
only just the funding either; it's the setup of it.
Of course. We did this in fucking the video that we did together. The tinfoil hat thing. Conspiracy theories, yeah, part 2. When we talked, and I told you about how education I thought was fucked for the pros. Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's because they like to keep a dumbed down electorate.
Yeah, indeed. So, go on, Cam.
Can we finish? Can you change subject? Because there's a bit breaking news about event in Salisbury. Apparently, two people are fallen. I tried to mention it earlier, but two people are fallen ill. Apparently, the 2 people are Russians who are fallen ill in this restaurant in Salisbury. And they cut off streets and people with hazmat suits to go to the restaurant.
The only thing I can
earlier about it. That's what I call the book club.
I guess the only thing I can Google from that is I will not be going anywhere near Salisbury or even Wiltshire anytime soon.
Holidays to Chernobyl.
I don't even know. I mean, to me, it's a made-up place anyway. So anyway, I'm just gonna eat my dinner. I'll be right back.
What we got 16 online now. I think this is one of the biggest fucking streams I've ever done. I don't know. What I want to say is a big thank you to Goon 143. And my question to you is it sex bots or kill bots? That's a private joke, by the way. Sergey Smirnov, is that a vodka thing? I don't know. So if you were there for the Sunday stream earlier, which was at Angels, whose house?
Angel's house.
Yeah, I said whose house?
Oh, I was rushing off to eat my roast dinner. It's Angel's house, obviously, but this is yours.
Of course, blatantly Angel's house. But guys, we need questions. Is there something? Are you guys left wing, right wing? Honestly,
I have a question actually. On a scale of 1 to 10, how smashed are you?
What, me?
Yeah.
What's the scale?
1 being not very smashed or just sober, and 10 being smashed.
I'm considering it's 4:43 in the morning. I'm disgustingly sober, actually.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
If you were up at 4:45 in the morning, how do you think you would sound?
Well, groggy, but that would be really it.
Really?
Bubblevis actually has a genuine question. What do we think of Article 11 and Article 15?
Sorry, Bubblevis. You did ask this earlier, and that is, but yeah. And questions to Baza. Yes, I do. I do have work, but not until 2 p.m. My first class is at 3:30 p.m. on Monday afternoon. So yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. But what I'm going to do is I am going to stop it at 5 o'clock, if that's cool. What's 5? So that'd be 9 p.m. I think your time.
About that, yeah, 9 p.m.
Just on Bubble Viz's question is, as I've been saying when we've discussed this before, you may take my freedom, but you will never take my memes.
That is the slogan. So,
brilliant.
On Thursday, I did a stream about Swiss. I mean, with Swiss on this. I think it's a bullshit piece of legislation, and the fact that the EU voted for it is a disgrace.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I think
voted for it.
That's it. For me, it's like EU. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're justifying all the people that are US skeptics.
I've only just noticed that Sergey has made an appearance in our side chat.
Indeed.
Oh my god, it's about time actually. Why have we not had Sergey show up?
Sergey Smirnov.
I thought it was Smirnov. I mean,
It's
I'm
a troll
really
account,
bad at
probably
reading.
created by Cameron.
Obviously, he's like the master of troll accounts. Right, but I am for real this time going to eat my roast dinner because I'm starving. Then I will be right back just to troll you all. Bye.
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 Hello, G. You've joined us.
Hello.
Mr. Whistler.
Hello.
It's our favourite
So
antagonist.
I wonder, Mr. Whistler, your I mean, what I was talking about earlier is about why don't people eat bread, right? Why can't we have bread? I know you're a Kropkinite, aren't you? Rather than
Well, I think people should have bread, although not literally, because I think it's good for you, but that's another matter.
But you're a Kropkinite, right?
Well, I mean, I think people should have access to food, yes.
Surely that's a no-brainer, right?
Well, I would think so.
And I was just trying to justify the fact that education is just as viable as bread, isn't it?
I think people should have an education and have a right to an education, yes.
Tell fucking James this, because it's doing my nutting.
People should have an education, James. There you go.
There we go. Wicked. Thank you.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was. Well done. Thank you very much about that. How you doing? Thank you for being on my channel. Like, it's been a long time since you've actually come on my channel.
Oh, no, I'm always happy to be on people's channels.
Sweet. So what have you been up to?
Not a huge amount.
Socialist Sunday, turning you on?
Well, I haven't really followed it. I mean, I don't have any great objection to it.
Cool, man.
It's just a Twitter hashtag, you know. It's all it's all good.
I love it because it keeps me busy on a Sunday, and I just play computer games and masturbate. So anyway, like when it comes to the bullet chat, you're the only person that I think is more left than me. When it comes to how we're going to deal with, well, where do you think the future is in the left? Considering, like I said, you're more left than me.
The future? Well, I have no idea. I mean, how could I possibly answer that?
You can.
I mean, the left is.
I
don't know what.
All right. Let's talk about the ideas of the left and the how you see the left right now. That could be possibly a better question. What do you think?
Well, it's pretty shit, isn't it? The left at the moment is pretty hopeless.
Really?
They've had 8 years of austerity and they've done fuck all. It's just obvious, isn't it? We've had 8 years of Tory absolute misery and it's still going on. I mean, all Labour are doing is fighting each other.
Yeah. Don't beat around the bush or anything, mate. Tell
This
us
is what I
you
love
feel.
about Whistler. He just says it like it is. He's
It's like it's
no filter
Well,
at
it
all, and
is.
that's what I love about him.
Well, I mean, this is the truth, isn't it?
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying the bluntness of your statement.
Well, I think the left needs to wake up. I mean, you know, it just instead of doing anything, it just seems to be Blairite infighting and watching Novara Media show off. I'm getting a bit bored of Novara Media, to be honest.
What about Novara Media?
I just think that they seem to be very popular, but all they seem to do is just show off. It's a bit of a lovies club. They're not really representing the working class as far as I can see.
But they're doing more than you are.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Well, of course.
Well, I don't have a media platform, and I didn't get to LSE.
Well, there we go.
I don't know how well. I mean, they're smart people, but
yeah.
Who are they winning over?
Well, at least they're putting a representation on daily politics.
Well, I'd be happy to go on daily politics if they asked me.
Well, are you? Sorry, G. Were you on that? Really?
No, of course not.
Okay, so what are you doing to, bring
Well,
them
I don't
forward?
see how that's really relevant.
Well, it's not really. No, it's a good question. Come on, what are you doing?
I mean, to be fair to G, he does have a point. It seems to be more focusing on the infighting than it is anything else. And I do agree.
Well,
with
of course. I
it's-
mean, like, no. I agree with that. But G, I mean, why are you focusing on the infighting then? If this is your point, rather
I'm not
than
focusing on it. I'm pointing out that that's what's happening.
Of course, no. I mean, it does my fucking head in. Of course.
It also doesn't help that we've got people like Chris Williamson representing us. Well, one of the people representing us, anyway, I should say.
You can always tune in to Gammon FM.
Yeah.
You see, this is the problem with the left is when they're ever in a bit of spot of trouble, they either ring out Chris Williamson and he'll compare Jeremy Corbyn to Nelson Mandela, or they'll bring out Owen Jones. It's both of them are just very toxic to the general public.
Well, actually, the reason Williamson is toxic isn't really something the general public understand. Owen Jones isn't toxic. I don't think he's toxic at all. He's just seen as toxic because he's an outspoken left-wing commentator. I don't have a problem with him at all.
Yeah, Owen Jones is nowhere near as toxic as Williamson is, but I would definitely say Williamson is toxic.
Okay, so, but then we're talking about representation of the left during within the mainstream media. Like, surely, aren't we? Surely we're talking about the representation of the left in the mainstream media, right? And on the BBC, I think Novara Media has quite good, especially with Michael and Ash Sakar. Like, we've actually had quite a good showing. Granted, it's 1 out of 4, like, say 25%. It's still shitty considering, at least half of the population voted for a left-wing fucking government. So
Basil has a question for us.
Sorry?
Basil has a question for us. It's why is Chris Williamson so toxic?
That's for you. I actually quite like him, to be honest.
Well, because he supports hard left. I don't like that phrase; it's all stupid. But they are generally seen on the hard left.
You're hard left than
no, I don't think like that. I don't think like that. He supports the. He buys into the conspiracy theories that some people on the left, a minority to be honest, but they are the problem that are being focused on with respect to the anti-Semitism thing. This is the crux of it, and unfortunately, it hasn't been dealt with.
I think yes, it does bring the new left, I suppose, with the new suppose, the Jeremy Corbyn kind of flavour of left and the way that we're trying to go forward within the Labour Party and the leftism that's going forward.
But you can't have, the problem is Corbyn isn't dealing with these problems.
Yes, because it's not. Why should it be down to Corbyn?
Well, let me give you an example. Right? There was a stop the war meeting. Why should it be
down to Corbyn?
I'll give you an example. There was a stop the war meeting, and they had a Syrian guy who wanted to speak and who wanted to, have his say in respect of, because they were discussing obviously the Syrian thing. And Peter Tatchell commented on this, and this is when Jeremy Corbyn is the chair of it. And Diane Abbott absolutely refused to let this guy speak. This is a fucking problem. This is what's happening. And Jeremy Corbyn last year, I was reading there's a protest going on in Deptford right now. It's about some more gentrification. Corbyn last year was saying that at the Labour Party conference, that local people would be able to have a say on these sorts of things. But it hasn't happened. And as a result, Sadiq Khan has gone behind people's backs and signed up more housing developments. And so you now have communities fighting to have their bloody houses rather than being sold off to private developers and all the rest of it. And this is something that's happening all across London, and it's under Labour.
Yeah,
another problem
absolutely.
Another
like,
problem
that is
with
oh Jesus Christ!
Can we let Thomas say his thing?
Yeah, go on.
The other thing I just wanted to say about Williamson as well is he's also been supportive of Vanessa Bailey, in addition to what you said, Whistler.
Well, that's what I mean.
I tell you why I fucking like Chris Williamson. Actually, despite what you just said, and to be fair, that was new information to me. My first comment on what you just said to me, G, is that's fucking bullshit. Because gentrification is one of my pets' hates. It really is.
It's been happening for years.
I know. Of course it is. It is. I mean, that's the fucking the ideas behind the bedroom tax. Fucking James, dickhead. So yes, I understand. But Chris Williamson's specifically is a bricklayer, and I understand what it is to be a labourer. So I do like him. He does overstretch. He's and maybe he hasn't got the political nous that maybe, especially someone like Tom has.
Yeah, but the problem is that when you're tweeting that you're meeting racist conspiracy theorists, you're creating a problem.
Yeah, I know you're creating a problem, and the left should be held up to a much higher degree than anybody else. Yeah, but it doesn't really help. We need to be united, G.
Well, of course, that's down to people. That's down to people who are doing stupid things, educating themselves. I don't think he's evil. I probably would agree with a great many of what things he has to say. But this is the problem: is when you're on Twitter and you're espousing the views of these sorts of people, it's a fucking problem because the Syrians, for example, aren't getting heard.
Hold that thought. I'm getting myself a fucking drink.
Can I just say on Chris Williamson, he has gone more left as the years have gone on, because people seem to forget that people like to look at people's voting records. He did vote for military intervention in Libya and also British action against ISIS in Iraq. Was it Iraq? So normally, if that was a Blairite, it'd be like, oh God, expel him from the party, purge the Blairites. But because it seems to be Chris Williamson, he has obviously shifted to the left more, I believe, since Corbyn's become leader of the party. But I don't know, there's just something about him. I think he's not great. But yeah, he did support military intervention in both Libya and Iraq. And he did I think he either voted against or voted for. He might have not voted at all on the immigration bill, which was basically regarding the Windrush scandal as well. So some of his policies are quite Blairite-ish.
Who's? What are you talking about?
Chris
Williamson's.
So his immigration ideas.
Well,
okay.
You might have been away. I'll just repeat it again. He voted for military intervention in Libya and Iraq, and I think he either abstained or didn't vote or voted for the immigration bill, which was now roundly criticised by the left because only a selective few Labour MPs, including Corbyn and MacDonald, voted for it, where Chris Williamson was an MP at the time and didn't vote for it.
Sure.
Some of his views are Blairite-ish.
Sure.
It wasn't MP in the Iraq War. He became an MP in 2010. He never voted for the Iraq War.
No, he voted for he voted for military intervention against ISIS in Iraq, not the Iraq War. Obviously, he's only been an MP since, like Cameron said, 2010.
So, G, can I ask you a personal question, mate?
You can ask.
So, when it comes to the bullet chat, you're the only person that's more left than me. I'm struggling to find out exactly what does that mean. You know, I don't
know what it means.
I don't know what it means either. And I also know that you generally have no time for me, and I'm struggling to find out why.
I don't know what you mean by that. Why do you think that?
Because you don't talk to me. That's why.
What are you talking about? I'm talking to you now.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's talking to you right now.
I don't know why you don't talk to you.
I
don't know why you think that.
Hey, G, comrades, right?
Okay.
So, the idea being, fuck off, mate. The idea being,
Sorry.
No, it wasn't you. It's directed towards Tom, actually. When it comes to, let's go back to education, right? Surely education should be free, right?
Yes.
Or here's the other idea that I have is when it comes to education is that if you have something within the economy that we are lacking, then it should be reverse charges. So we should pay people to go to university to study certain things, like especially women within the STEM fields, for instance, is something that we need more of, right? Correct?
Yeah, sure.
That was easy.
Well, that would be obviously what I was going to say.
Yeah, I know, but I think
everyone should be able to gain an education in whatever they want to learn.
So what was your problem, James?
He's gone.
He was saying that why should he pay for people to do bullshit degrees? For instance,
well, I can't answer that for him. I mean, that's just
okay.
It's a parochial position.
Let's see. For every bullshit degree, there's also a lot of very good ones. So I'd really focus on the good degrees and just the bad ones, really. You're investing in the proper ones like maths, IT, English. Let's see that kind of stuff.
Well, when you cherry pick like the most extreme examples of ridiculous degrees, of course, it's going to look like your position is right, but the problem with those degrees that they were picking out is they were likely degrees that were limited to one specific university. I don't think it's part of the fucking curriculum to have a David Beckham or sewing beds degree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure most. Let's see. I'm pretty sure when you talk to most public, they probably would be willing to invest money into in their taxes, into paying people that go for degrees in maths, English, science, IT. Let's see, business. Let's see, sport, particularly like and history, geography. Let's see. You know, the important degrees, the ones that are likely to
Okay. Here's a question for you then.
Okay.
What would you determine is an important degree?
Math, English, science.
Why is math important?
Because numeracy has a large part in society. Like structure, you know, like money.
Okay. On the flip side, then, what is an unimportant degree?
That's the David Beckham one. If that is actually true.
Can we not like talk about what James said? No,
Who the fuck?
apart from David Beckham.
Really? Reasonable
Here's
Nazi in the side chat?
Yeah, who the fuck is the reasonable Nazi who says biology is an important degree, the master race must be created? Who the fuck is that?
Where did you come from?
Ugh.
My
either
question
way,
is, yeah, go on.
Well, either way, we have another member for the Benite National Party.
Yeah, apparently reasonable Nazi. Is there any such thing? Now here's the thing, right? If you are on the left, say I, and press 1 on the side chat if you are.
I.
I'm on the left.
You're expecting me to say it, aren't you? That doesn't mean anything.
If you're on the left, mate.
What?
I'm sorry. I've been reading a bit of Trotsky and all sorts of other shit recently, and being on the left, part of our ideals of being on the left is actually fighting fascism and in all its forms. And I think what's gone on with the Tory party and the MEPs and Hungary is really, really fucking shitty. Really fucking shitty. G, can you give me a comment?
Well, of course it is, but it's not surprising. That's what the Tories do. I mean, they propped up Pinochet. Well, they supported Pinochet. He was out of power at the time. Took Pinochet to tea. I mean, why? This isn't a surprise, surely.
Yes, I know it's not a surprise, but you know, I need some analysis, really. No, if you don't want to do it, then like, okay, look, dude, if you don't want to do it, it's fine. Tom,
well, I haven't really read a huge amount about this. It doesn't. I don't see the point, to be honest, because it's just the Tories being the Tories. The guy is a scumbag. Tories support scumbags. I mean, that's really all there is to say. I don't have a huge amount of analysis to offer on this one. I'm not an expert on this.
Okay, I have a question from Baza. He says, being on the left is fighting fascism and speaking out whenever you encounter it. Yes, of course, I fucking agree. Of course. Absolutely. So if you're on the left, say I. When it comes to fighting and speaking out against fascism, say I. And like I said, when it comes to Socialist Sundays, right? My only tweet that I said today, are we the only people playing by the rules? It feels like I am. We are the only people playing by the fucking rules. Right?
I guess. What is that? Okay, that's like static coming from.
What's?
I'm hearing static.
Thomas.
Mute.
What do you think of the shit that's?
Oh, fuck. I didn't realise I was muted.
You were talking, weren't you? And you just didn't realise you were talking.
Yeah, I was. I was just saying it's like 9 o'clock local time and agreeing with what you were saying about fighting fascism and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what? This is some vegan stuff here from Baza. It says,
I know.
So then, if you're involved in killing 65 billion animals a year, enslaving, encaging, stabbing, and gassing them, should you speak out?
Very sneaky, Baza.
depends if
Very
they're
sneaky.
Well, it depends if you're a vegan.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not a
know.
vegan.
Are you? Is anybody vegan here on the panel?
No, I'm not.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't.
The reasonable
You see-
Nazi claims to be on the left. Well, yeah. Not sure what's making-
You see, the thing is about veganism, and this is my thoughts on it. I have no problem with veganism as a lifestyle choice. It's militant political veganism that I have a problem with. And what I mean by that is I basically mean the types of people who will go around to animal research laboratories and bomb them and...
Can you say that L word again?
Bombing though?
Laboratories. What's a laboratory?
A laboratory, then.
Oh.
The point remains is I do not agree with that type of veganism, but if you want it as a lifestyle choice, then fine. I got no problem with that.
Fair enough. But anyway, in regards to the EMP, where's it coming from?
Connie,
I'd be hearing this sort of loud background noise. Where's it coming from?
It's Whistler, but it doesn't matter.
Whistler, yeah, Whistler's really noisy. He's always really noisy.
Oh, okay, so let's see. Okay, sorry, Whistler, but anyway, in regards to the EMPs at the tourist third, it's a bit it's a bit it's a bit outrageous given how this was like, given how back in 1945 they fought against fascism. Now they're voting for it or something like that, but still, well, granted, or at least the European Tory MPs are, but at least, but anyway.
Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you know much about Trotsky or Stalin or Lenin or the ideas of Marx or anything like that?
Not really. No, mostly
You're on
just
the left, though, right?
Yeah. Yes, I am left wing. I wouldn't say I am very educatedly left wing, but I vote for more left wing policies.
Yeah. I mean, what was the what would you say was the one policy that brought you over to the left? Was it healthcare? Was it education? Or what?
I guess the one I was focused on during the 2017 election was the minimum wage.
So you voted for a minimum wage?
Well, yeah, to increase the minimum wage. Yeah, that's
okay. So I was actually having this conversation. I mean, we were having this literally last night. Literally, we were talking about fucking minimum wage last night. Shit, man. With my Korean friends, and I'm like, no, why have a minimum wage? What's the point? I mean, because it means that if you're looking at companies like Amazon or whatever, then it becomes a target. Why not get rid of the minimum wage and have a revitalized union movement? And then you can have collective bargaining. Then you can have collective bargaining. So why not about that? I mean, Tom, you're brilliant with this. Like, what do you think about unionization versus minimum wage?
Well, I think that unionization is clearly the better choice at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I do like that, but I do like the fact that Labour is, at least for the time being, trying to increase the minimum wage just so that we have more money to spend and save.
right? Like, this is why I love you fucking guys, man. I need some proper left wing shit that we need to talk about, you know. Because it was radical centrism during the Sunday night stream, but this is my channel. This is my house now. Right?
Okay.
Let's talk fucking left wing shit. Come, please, come on.
Okay.
Ask me a question. Ask me, like, let's talk something. Like, I mean, Tom has who's your picture?
Atlee.
And who is Atlee?
I literally just explained it about a couple
I know you
hours
did it
ago.
before.
Yeah, it's, let's see, Labour Prime Minister from 1945 to 1951, often regarded as one of the best prime ministers, if not the best prime minister in modern UK history.
No, I'll disagree with that. The only UK or left wing prime minister that we didn't have would be Tony Benn. And I'm surprised you're not more of a fan of Tony Benn, Tom.
I don't mind Tony Benn. I disagree with his EU views, but that's really just it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm pretty certain most people, if he was alive and he could lead Labour, I'm pretty sure most people on the left would be on board with it. I think even Corbyn would be on board with it.
Okay. So, Mr. Cooper, right? So, if you need to understand something, or you need, well, you don't need something. You don't need anything. And I mean, so do you have a question for about history or anything, right?
Let's see.
I tell you what. Here's a good
how would you describe the difference between socialism and communism?
There's a good one. Socialism generally is something that is socialistic. That's why it's called socialism. Whereas communism is state-sponsored. State-sponsored socialism, essentially. I think. What do you think, Tom?
What?
Socialism and communism.
Well, they're not the same thing.
No. Indeed.
But since I'm just wondering, since this is usually something that's always going against the left when because, you know, whenever someone tries to bring up their socialist, they immediately compared to a communist. Or
I actually wrote something about socialism very, very, very recently.
How would you, if you were a socialist, try to explain what would see the differences between socialism and communism, and why you're a socialist?
Why would you try to differentiate yourself between socialism and communism? Surely it should be between capitalism and communism, or socialism.
Yeah. Let's see. But given how, let's see, communism is and still is to this day a sort of dirty word, let's see. How would you
socialism? Arguably.
Well, yes, but it's getting a bit more popular now. But let's see. But how would you? Let's see. But I'm just asking. Like, let's see. If you were to describe yourself as a socialist and then you were called a communist, how would you tell them that socialism is not really the extreme Stalinism that usually is associated with communism, and why socialism works better for the country than, let's see, neoliberal capitalism? All right,
Tom, do you want to head up, or do you want me to go for
it? You go for it. Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, so now the thing is about when you look at how society is actually laid out, then of course, yes, I mean, we are in a capitalist society, and it's, you know, there's nothing that we can generally do. I mean, and it has been, to say that it hasn't been good for us would be a lie. I mean, but we also need to understand that as long as neoliberalism, so then we actually cut things short. I mean, if you look at capitalism, it's been running for about 500 years.
Yeah.
Then you look at neoliberalism, then you're looking at maybe 30, 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is different. So when you talk about the ideas of how we want to talk about Marxism or Adam Smith or the ideas of disaster capitalism. I mean, you need to define your question. Let's move on further. Tell me further. What do you need to do?
Let's see. You mean with like how to differentiate socialism and communism?
No. What I'm saying is okay, so do you really want me to give you a history lesson over the last 30 years? Okay, I think you do. Okay, so Margaret Thatcher and
came
we
into
went through we went through neoliberalism, and we're still trying to deal with it. What it did is it made a massive fucking gap between the poor and the rich over the last 30 years, and it was still, poverty is actually absolute poverty and relative poverty have exploded over the last 18 years, which is absolutely crazy. Now what you need to do is we talk about stuff that is you say that you're on the left, right?
Yeah.
Say, guys, all guys, press F if you're on the left. So if you're on the left, right, what brought you to the left? Why are you on the left, Mr. Cooper?
Well, let's see. I've always been socially left-wing.
You say that. You say I'm always have been socially left-wing. What does that mean?
Let's see. Well, before really paying attention to politics, growing up, let's see, I usually often hear like my mum rant about Tony Blair and then later Gordon Brown. So I kind of got a bad impression of Labour. And since she supports the Conservatives, I ended up supporting them, not really paying attention to the politics at the time, mainly because I was a young, let's see, boy, just in the teen years and all that stuff. Let's see, and I was under the bat. Let's see, but I did end up supporting the Democrats in the U.S. during the Obama thing, where let's see, I ended up with their social left kind of like policies, like pro-gays, like equality for all kind of thing, like human rights, that kind of stuff. And
so do you think human rights was the thing that really tipped you to rights?
I guess, but I guess it's also, let's see, I ended up originally not really paying much attention to the Conservatives. Heck, I even actually believed that during the Libya civil war thing that our intervention was a good thing. It was not until back when I was going to a further education college and doing a level 1 to level 2 art and design course kind of thing, where I ended up meeting a few people with more left-wing views. I think there was an actual anarchist there when I actually started really hearing some bad mouthing of David Cameron and the Conservatives, and starting to learn a little bit about how the Libya war wasn't actually a good thing. It was the first time I was actually questioned, because from
what are you?
Sorry, what?
What are you?
I'm 24. This was back in 2014 to 2015, back when I was
But
around.
if you look at like the politics of 2010, for instance, you were like 10 years old.
No, I was like 15 to 16.
Okay.
Let's see. I was leaving secondary school when David Cameron got in.
Okay. And what do you think of David Cameron?
Originally, I liked him, but now not so much.
So what? So you went from David Cameron to
Jeremy
socialist.
Yeah.
You're socialist now, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You're socialist now.
Yeah.
So what changed?
I guess it was the EU referendum originally, but let's see. Partly because I voted to remain. You could imagine my shock when I found out that, let's see, the EU, we're leaving the EU and Cameron was resigning. But then I learned that it was the Conservatives that did the whole EU thing. Let's see, I became so enraged, I ended up saying, okay, that's it. I'm voting Labour now, next election thing. I mean, there's a protest thing. Even though that, look at my mum's face was like, let's see.
What would your mum vote?
She votes Tory. Let's see.
Why?
She's a conservative.
So she's small c conservative or big c conservative?
I'm not sure. She doesn't.
You know the difference.
I haven't really asked her much about her politics, mainly because
difference between
she's talking about it, and I get on her nerves.
Oh, fair enough.
Let's see. But yeah. But let's see. I know she likes Thatcher, and I think let's see, and Cameron, but that's about it.
All right. Right. I'm gonna be honest with all you guys here, right? I'm a fucking pleb, right? And I completely understand exactly what you've just said. Completely. I'll tell you what I fucking learned, right? Over the last 5-10 years that I've been studying politics. I'm really not good at politics, man. But I try, man. I try and I read and I do lots of shit, right? Will, man, Mr. Cooper, do you think I'm good at politics?
I do, but I think you interrupt people a bit too much.
Of course, yeah. Because you're talking shit.
And you get a bit too drunk.
Mate, who am I?
Yeah, Chamchi the political fish.
Indeed. So that means that you haven't got a clue who the fuck I am anyway. So, dude, here is the thing, right? Yeah. There are certain lessons that I've learned throughout the ideas. I try to, not get too personal. When it comes to the Tory party, you, right? They resent the fact that you actually have a vote.
No, that wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
They resent it. They absolutely resent it. Okay. You are not a landed. You do not have the right because you do not have the education. You are not. You are the sort of person that would have to buy their own furniture. Yes, they're fucked. You are not of the pedigree to even deserve democracy. Yeah, this is what I've learned. On that note, guys, it's 5:30 in the morning, so I do apologize. So I'm gonna go Goon, everybody else. Anybody that's still in the side chat, please hang around, and I will be with you guys. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh yeah. By the way, sorry if I sounded a little harsh earlier, G Whistler. I just wanted to try and get my point across, but I couldn't really say it with my.
That's all right. No worries.
Just want to make
Still alive.